Welcome to a special rock and roll with yours truly overtime, every time with yours truly, Rainbow Dragon, independent artist, athlete, philosopher. I gotta give a salutation and gratitude, and we're gonna put on these made in Canada, made in Canada, made in Canada. There are made in Canada, and I rarely wore them. I think maybe it's the first time since I'm wearing them. They're made in Canada. I bought them secondhand during COVID, but auctioning them for $1 million, although financially stressed, gonna auction them for $1 million to give half 50% to my anonymous friend. Who was my friend because of the money, always grateful, thankful to the butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, grocery store clerks, those who are gonna pick up the garbage and who picked up the recycling this morning. Those are athletes also. Please, NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB. Please give free tickets to the firefighters, LOV to the firefighters, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, and please millionaires, Wall Street, buying, selling, trading, future option, put stocks. Please give some charity, 10% of every million, a billion, billionaires in this tough economic times. North Americans unite. I am myself financially struggling, but I'm open for business 24/7, although gotta commence, begin with gratitude, grateful, thankful that my rent's paid, electricity bills paid. Oh, fitness journey after 7 years has paid some off. It's not all about the money or the muscle or the brains. It takes a little bit of that honey and that LOVE. And of course, I am financially stressed, but gotta say my gratitude. I paid my rent to this January 20th inauguration, this Quebecer Canadian. Although I would have voted for Biden, and of course Kamala Biden Harris, I would have voted for anybody of them. I'm a Democratic Republic, pro-labor and love revolutionary centrist. My rent's paid, electricity bills paid, got food and coffee, and got some coffee. Gonna put on these pants and gonna rock and roll. Calling for 3 executive joint Canada-US executive orders, Canada executive joint United States executive orders, as this Quebecer Canadian was born in the United States 3 times, post 70-76, served in the United States Army, the same US Army, 156 years apart. Same US Army, 156 years apart in 2 different wars. Sometimes was born as a man, sometimes a woman. You get that. Rainbow Dragon, you get that 50-50. Now you get that 50-50. You get that 50-50. Androgynous, pansexual, artist, athlete, philosopher, geopolitical, theoretical analyst, and people's doctor, who always prescribes that good LOV, push-ups, hugs with consent and hygiene. Main messages: hug like you never hugged before, blah 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 blah. Hug like you never hugged before, hug like you never hugged before with consent and hygiene. Hug like you never hugged before is the main message. Financially stressed, but got some coffee here in the True North, strong and free. Gotta send some LOV to my Auntie Freeland. Wore my favorite color, red yesterday on the stage. Gonna listen again to the discourse of Donald Trump later on today. I'm just doing laundry, and I'm about to start my 3rd laundry. Gotta be grateful, thankful also for the laundry machine, the washer and the dryer, because before in the past, about more than 5 years ago, I used to go in my neighborhood and I used to spend money. So I'm grateful, thankful to have the laundry machine and the laundromat, and today's laundry and cleaning all day with some rock and roll, and of course geopolitical analysis, geopolitical theoretical analysis, as I'm an independent geopolitical theoretical analyst and theorist, gonna dissect today during the day, and of course tomorrow by midnight, the inauguration speech by Donald Trump. And of course I would have definitely voted Joe Biden and Kamala, and I'm calling for the North American Democratic Republican Union on please millionaires, mass finance, fitness, and it's time to mass finance citizen in this tough economic times for many of us, and it's time to do better for the labor, for the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the doctors, the firefighters, LOV to the firefighters. Please, NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB. Please, mass finance, give some tickets to the firefighters, to those who pick up the garbage, the public workers in North America working in sanitation. Please give them some tickets so they can enjoy the sports, as the people's athlete who's now going to put on these made in Canada pants. Made in Canada, believe it, they're made in Canada. I bought them secondhand for $7, although I'm going to be multiplying their value by wearing them and rock and roll with them, so that I can start building. Give 50%, half for my anonymous friend, 50-50, auctioning them for $1 million, and I got to get those bricks, because on the Canadian-US border, yours truly, Adrian Hannah Dragon, I don't want to will to build any old temple, but a new temple. Today, the 20th, for today, as I live at Carpe Diem every day since I died of COVID, build a new temple. Forgotten goddess, the goddess GODDSS temple with... I'm laying the foundation with trillions of kisses, 718 trillions of kisses created from the goddess. Because me surviving COVID, me survive being surprise attack and living lots of trauma and survive with disease, survive being depressed, survive being suicidal, survive with scars. I created my survival to the G-O-D-D-E-S-S, and of course God Goddess, God Goddess, God Goddess with that rock and roll, the Goddess, Forgotten Goddess. That's something that I will to buy first million. I'm gonna buy bricks. I'm gonna start laying the bricks because I got some muscle, some brain, and I need the construction workers, to build parallel to the Forgotten Goddess temple. It's my will to build the North American People's Imperial Coliseum, the North American People's Imperial Coliseum, the North American People's Imperial Coliseum, for of course having joint exercises and my workout training program system which I created. And time to clean, as I've been cleaning all day. It's going to be a week of cleaning. Pro-labor revolutionary centrist, yours truly calling for the North American Collective Workers Party, the centrist Democratic Republican Party joined for the North American Union, the North American Collective Workers Party. Let's get that North American Collective Workers Party for a public-private partnership. My dream, the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom, is of course to create a common passport, implement Operation Northern Scorpio for coast-to-coast security service and defense only, security service and defense only, security service and defense only. This ASPE have Asperger's, so by HFA, high-functioning autism, I'm a bit socially awkward, and I have certain mannerisms and social difficulties where certain things are more difficult and I am less able in certain circumstances. But my holy trinity of what's called as an ASPE, Asperger's, like myself, people who are ASPE, neurodivergent, part of a tiny minority of less than half of a percentile, less than half of a percentile, less than 1%, and less than half of a percent have Asperger's, also known as HFA. So that mental divergent condition makes us predisposed to what's called special interest, also known as obsessive interest, although I do not call them obsessive, because obsessive, for somebody who is not neurodivergent, obsessive would seem he's so super focused, so super in that specific aspect, specific area of interest, that is totally concentrated to. That seems like an obsession. But for us Aspies, when I lose track of time, when sometimes I'm involved in different news outlets, analysis of geopolitical events of the past, and revision of geopolitics 24/7, and analyzing neoconservative and liberal and centrist, and back and forth to the Cold War, and back now to today in 2025. And I have to say that as an independent geopolitical analyst and theorist who has predicted an international conflagration back in 2019 in October, November, I have proof of work. Sometimes I'm involved in hours and hours and hours, and I just lose track of time. I just wake up and say, I want to just spend 5 hours just analyzing news and geopolitical events and meditating on them. And so that's basically what Asperger's is. And my holy trinity is geopolitics, being an independent geopolitical theoretical analyst and theorist. Sports and fitness. Dancing is my favorite sport and fitness activity. Dancing is my favorite sport and fitness activity. And the third one is rock and roll. Always rock and roll for the truckers on the road, the butchers and the bakers and the nurses, those in the daycares who done change some of those dirty diapers, those in the daycares who done change some of those dirty diapers, and the truckers and the butchers and the nurses for that Canada, that coast to coast. For my auntie Freeland, I'm going to be saying, although I'm on pro-labor, love universal revolutionary centrist, a democratic republican for the North American Union, parallel to the European Union, and my vision and my dream. The Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom is fundamentally a call for a public-private partnership across the collective North American civilizational complex, and it's time for me to put these pants on, so I'm going to rock and roll. Put the pants on. Made in Canada again, made in Canada. Bought them secondhand at the Renaissance about, I think, a few years ago, maybe even just before COVID, and of course, I bought them like before COVID, so I put the pants on, and see, they're a bit loose now. They used to be very tight when I bought them, and since I lost weight, due to of course my fitness journey, they're still a bit long, but I guess I can wear them for today. And for the first time, I'm going to be putting the first time that I'm wearing these socks, because I'm cleaning and I get newer beginnings, and of course my dream, calling for a public-private partnership. When I say support, pledge your allegiance to our family, support my dream manifesting as the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom. Drop down, give Rainbow Dragon 13 push-ups with LOVM for world peace for the North American Union. And yours truly, of course, encouraging all today. Carpe diem, and hug with consent. Don't start hugging random citizens because you get in trouble. That's not what I'm saying. It's with consent. Hug like you never hugged before. Just that's what I could use. A massage therapy session. I lost more, between 80 and 93 pounds, but you know what? The firefighters, they deserve it. They earn it more than yours truly. Millionaires, billionaires, Wall Street, blah, 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 blah. Finance the massage therapy sessions to the firefighters and the nurses and the public workers who pick up the garbage. They're athletes also, blah, 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 blah. They're also athletes, blah, blah, blah. And of course, finance them a massage therapy session. And I'm going to be wearing my rainbow. First time that I'm wearing these today is going to be cleaning and dancing in them, because dancing is my favorite sport and fitness activity. So I'm going to open them up. Thank you, my anonymous friend. The best socks I ever got. Not just because I'm androgynous, pansexual, part of the LGBTQ community, of course. Play black, white, and rainbow 24/7, androgynous, pansexual, artist, athlete, philosopher, geopolitical, theoretical, analyst, and is going to put on these socks on this very cold day, inauguration days. Going to discuss what I would will to sign of the executive orders, as this Quebecer Canadian would have been and was born. I believe in reincarnations, and I was born in the USA, past between 1776 and 1984, 3 times, once as a woman, twice as a man. Read George Patton's Through a Glass Darkly, one of my favorite poems, Through a Glass Darkly by George Patton, Through a Glass Darkly by George Patton, Through a Glass Darkly, which I believe is still taught in West Point Military Academy, blah, 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 blah. For the North American Union, let's create a common passport and a common currency starting today, of course, and millionaires, billionaires. It's not all about the money. We have to do better for the working people, for the working class, for the financially struggling. And my brothers and sisters, the call of the heart. It's time in the 21st century to rebuild the North American urban cities, aka the North American ghettos. It's time to mass finance billionaires, owners of the NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB, and also the millionaire athletes and millionaire artists. It's time to mass finance the rebuilding of the North American inner urban cities, aka the North American ghettos. Sign that executive orders for the mass financing by the collection of 10% from the billionaires, 10% for the rebuilding of the North American urban inner cities, aka the North American ghettos. It's time to mass invest, rebuild North America, the infrastructure, blah, 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 blah. Wearing these socks. First time, gonna auction them already. Put the value on the socks. First time that I'm wearing these socks. Oh, they feel so good. The best socks I'm ever wearing today on this 20th of January, although financially stressed. So I'm going to auction them for $1 million. Thank you, my anonymous friend. And, of course, my anonymous friend, if I make $1 million, $1 billion, $1 trillion, I'm going to give 50%, half, offer power of attorney. My friend accepted power of attorney. And, in the coming days, I'm still going to propose on this journey of a new 40-day right. Of course, if I do get a yes. Now, the only yes I'm looking for a yes for a marriage alliance proposal, which I'm going to propose in the coming days, weeks ahead, and starting today for the next 40-day right, and my parallel 40-day right, which began December 25th, is ending on February 3rd, so I'm going to propose again, although part of the LGBTQ community, always sing for my homos and my LGBTQ rainbows, XYZ, goddess get those kisses, rainbow dragon, and for my anonymous friend, who wasn't my friend because of the money, of course I'm gonna give 50%. So thank you for these rainbow socks. Gonna put them on for the first time and gonna auction them for $1 million. $1 million already, the value up, and pledge your allegiance to our family from Quebec, Montreal, La Belle Province. Gonna sing that rock and roll. This Quebecer Canadian who was born in the United States 3 times. Post 76, I served in the United States Army, and of course I would have voted Kamala, Donald Trump, and of course I got another special because today is a cold day. So on those rainbows, I'm going to add something. I'm going to add something up. I'm going to add something on them. See? Also for my anonymous friend, I'm going to add these socks on. So these socks on the rainbow. Because you got to put the little black and white in rainbow. We got to put a little black and white on rainbow, and strength. But it's not all about strength. It's not all about fight. Strength and fighting. You got to have some loving. Hopefully somebody making some love today. Black, white, rainbow across Quebec, North American Collective. My brothers and sisters, pledge your allegiance to our family. So I'm going to be adding this on the rainbow because today's a cold day here in Montreal. Butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors. Got to not forget to take the garbage and the trash. Got to go for a Lancer. Got to go for the Flex. For the butchers and the bakers and the nurses and the doctors, I'm going to sing it for the guitar. Got to live with plenty of scars. Got to kiss it for the rainbows, for the fan. There you go. On the planes, they switching lanes and the prices increase. Gotta go. Don't be so selfish. Wall Street, give some charity. You gotta eat. Don't be so selfish. Wall Street, give some charity so that we can eat. Don't be so selfish. Wall Street, give some charity so that we can eat. And I'm not totally selfless myself. I'm grateful, thankful. I try to be balanced, balance. My spirituality is very physical, very rock and roll, I'm a wannabe Telemite. I'm still exploring and knowing and also growth every day. I survived COVID right here in this underground room of St. Temple. I'm going to be marking in February, March, 5 years since I survived COVID. 5 years going to be marking soon when I survived COVID. I had it. I got 3 vaccines. I was right here in this underground lair. Dragon's Lair here is literally underground in Hakal in Montreal. So back then it was like death, pestilence, and disease. It was really like death, pestilence, and disease. I thought I was gonna die. And in many ways I did die, nothing that I want to go back to. So I died on the island of Montreal. I died right here on the island of Montreal. I died on the island. I'm being reborn here for the North American Collective, Rainbow Dragon, androgynous pansexual, proposing the three special executive orders for the rebuilding of the North American Infrastructure Collective, for the joining, of course, to do a Operation Northern Scorpio, join Canada, US for security, service, and defense only, and of course creating a common currency between Canada and the United States parallel to the euro, the UE by the DRT theory, by the debt refusion theory, which is my theory, of course, and propositions to create a common currency right across the collective. As I go on the Montreal Royal, Mount Royal, I always meditate, of course, how the implementation and my vision, which is, of course, the dream, the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom, could be implemented coast to coast, ocean to ocean, right across the collective North American civilization as the sun is shining now. And of course, as I'm meditating on the inauguration of the events that would have taken place, and I'm not going to go into a if what, but Donald Trump got elected, so now he's president. But I'm hoping that Donald Trump will change some direction, some change of heart, because sometimes change myself, I change so much. I change so much, and as much as I can dissect the MAGA movement, and I say it's at the end of the day, we must not make enemies of each other. Canadians, United States, we're big brother, little sister. Big sister, we're like a family, and always remind myself when I cross Canada coast to coast. In 2017, before that event, I was depressed. I was suicidal. In 2017, in August and September, I crossed Canada coast to coast, coast to coast, coast to coast. I had married, mask, and married. And that event really solidified. I established a strong esprit de corps with my fellow Quebecers, Canadians. And of course, since then, I establishing a strong esprit de corps. And I started working out, training, and exercising because I had a revelation. And I said so many things to do, to see across this great Canada, this great confederation. When it's time for the Republic. The king is absent, my brothers and sisters. It's time for the Republic. It is time for the Republic. It is time for the Republic. It is time for the Republic, the Democratic Republic, the North American Union, which will propel us in the 21st century. And part of my trinity of theories, the DRT, the debt refusion theory, to be implemented, the CIT, citizen integration theory, and the democratic fusion theory to be implemented. That trinity of theories has to be some LOVE. Because otherwise, what are we fighting to say for? Fight. But it got to be somebody making LOVE today, tonight, now with consent and hygiene. Hug like you never hugged before. Always when you see me, we got a big hug. I could use a big hug, a good massage therapy session. I live with my scars, but I'm always happy, joyous when I see the youth happy. The youth happy, the youth joyous. For the youth and the children, they're innocent, and we can build a collective, and calling for of course, another executive order for the building of 44 tunnels based on my protocols and my initiatives, of course, which I've written about a few years ago. It has a long title, which I've written, of course, as a philosopher on different USB keys. And one of the titles is the Public-Private Partnership Initiative for the North American Complex to initialize and construct for the defense and security and continuity of the North American civilizational complex in case of a thermonuclear war. So we need to start, and I need Donald Trump to sign the executive order for a joint public-private partnership, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Forget that Panama Canal, although I understand the concerns about security, being an independent geopolitical theoretical analyst and theorist. I know geopolitics, and I could be saying, although if I would not voted for Trump, there is something there which can be explored in terms of security. Myself, I'm so vulnerable in certain things. I've been vulnerable. I've been almost died, almost was suicidal, almost I had many employments, many jobs, many opportunities, and of course I've short-lived, and I've suffered struggle because of my neurodivergent mental psychic condition, which is not a mental illness. It is just a mental psychic divergent condition which makes people with Asperger's, people with HFA, predisposed and super intense when we're focused on those elements. And when it comes to geopolitics, geopolitical studies, geopolitical analysis, that's my kingdom, that's my realm, and it's 24/7. And of course, I can acknowledge something about the Panama Canal, but I think the primary executive order to be for the mass construction Canada-US joint for the 44 tunnels, 44 megatunnels based and inspired on Cheyenne Mountain Complex, 44 The number after 43 before 45 is 44, to build 44 complex across the Cheyenne, inspired by the Cheyenne Mountain. The NORAD Defense Headquarters HQ of the NORAD Complex, which is Canada-US military complex. And we got to take that defense analysis via my Dragon Army initiative, which is fundamentally a call for a public-private partnership. You know. Here I am financially struggling, but got trillions of kisses. Lots of rock and roll songs for my brothers and sisters across the North American collective. North Americans Unite is the 24/7 auctioning 93% of everything that I'm owning now. And I got to go soon I'm going to go start my third laundry because I did a lot of laundry since this morning. So I'm grateful, thankful for that machine. I was a bit of a mess. I was a bit of a mess this morning, you know, a bit over stressed and financially stressed. That's my only stress right now, but I'm open for business. I've applied. I'm waiting for responses for several business opportunities, but I'm only open for business 24/7, geopolitics, rock and roll and dancing, and I will my will to build the forgotten goddess temple on the Canadian-US border. I don't will to build any old temple. Some, you know, have enough temples. The temple which I will to build is the Forgotten Goddess Temple that I'm crediting trillions of kisses for the creation and the building in parallel to the North American people's Imperial Coliseum. That's my dream. And the pyramid, House of the Dragon, the House of the Dragon. Pyramid, scarlet, crimson. Scarlet and crimson are shades of red, my favorite color. And we got a time to clean. I commence a whole week of cleaning today. And we're going to take a look at some of my agenda for the week. Encouraging all to work out, train, exercise. And, you know, it's okay to not feel okay sometimes. You know, I've been down, I've been depressed, I've been suicidal. You know, if I would have stayed where I lived and I have blackouts, fragments of raw retrograde amnesia and blackouts of memory. You know, I just remember about 7, 8, maybe close to 9 years ago, moved from a very moldy place and came here and started working out cross Canada, coast to coast. That event got me out of being depressed and suicidal. And of course, I've been out in the open as being part of the LGBTQ community for more than 7 years now. And although made lots of friends, you know, lost a lot of friends due to being an Aspie, having high functioning autism, you know, being an Aspie, having Asperger's. It's more of a tricky, it's more of a misunderstood condition, mental psychic condition. So I lost a lot of friends, making only friends with benefits only now, friends with benefits only from now on. And pledge your allegiance, thou art family. We're gonna sing that rock and roll. Pledge your allegiance, thou art family. And we gotta get that 93. Bury me with Papa Crowley up in New Jersey. Bury me with Papa Crowley up in Hampton, New Jersey. Bury me with Papa Crowley. A third of me up in Hampton, New Jersey. A third of me up in Mount Royal, my second home, and a third of me at the City of the Pyramids. Gonna check that agenda. Let's see what is the agenda for the week. Thank you to my anonymous friend who gave me a nice blue agenda, blue like the sky. Gotta sing that rock and roll every day like a carpe diem. And today, you know, I live it every day since I died of COVID in 2020, February, March. I'm going to be marking 5 years as parallel. I'm marking 5 years. I'm celebrating in a way marking 5 years since I concluded that humanity is set again towards an international conflagration. And I am proud to have created an efficient workout training program system which requires no equipment. And here it is I didn't put for Friday. So I put for today. My agenda for today, midnight to noon, Dragon versus Trump, because, you know, I've been challenging Donald Trump to a boxing match on the Canadian-US border ever since. Still am, even you're Mr. President, I'm still going to box you on the Canadian-US border, and we're going to get that 50-50, the dancing goddess and the Dragon Kingdom, and we're going to rebuild together the North American collective and mass finance the infrastructure. We're going to create a common passport as Canadians. This Canadian, Quebecer, North American who was born in the USA 3 times as the Dragon versus Trump started challenging Donald Trump to a boxing match on the Canadian-US border ever since the first time when the Trump administration has imposed tariffs on Canadian aluminum and steel back in 2018 in February. In March 2018, in March, in spring, of course, has imposed tariffs on Canadian aluminum and steel, just 10%, and that was the threat of 25%, which is a quarter, 25% on ALL, all goods this time is a major threat to impose tariffs on all Canadian goods and services, and there's alternatives, and the alternatives are best. Sometimes my dream and my trinity holy trinity of theories calling for the implementation across the North American collective in parallel to building 44 tunnels, the CIT citizen integration theory, the DRT debt refusion theory, and the democratic fusion theory. But that trinity of theories is got to have some LOVE, you know. Let's get some sharing. Billionaires, mass finance, give 10% for the building of those tunnels. Give 10% for the buildings of those tunnels. Me, I don't need much. If I have something better than here, although I'm grateful for this underground room office and temple, I go to the mountain and I have the Belvedere Conjuring, which is my second home to the mountain Belvedere. And I will to build the House of the Dragon and the Forgotten Goddess GODDSS Temple and the North American People's Imperial Coliseum and the North American People's Imperial Coliseum. And of course, midnight to noon, Dragon versus Trump. Clean the room office and temple, which I cleaned a bit, still got to do a lot of cleaning, and finish the 44-day ride. So today the 44-day ride ends parallel to the 40th day. Started December 25th. I started a parallel 40-day ride today. Of course, a 40-day ride today, 40-day parallel ride today on the 20th. So it's 40 days and 40 days parallel for the Forgotten Goddess Temple to build. Let's build it together. And the House of the Dragon, and the North American People's Imperial Coliseum. And I'm an artist athlete, so I got a lot of ideas for movies, movie scripts, and I sing a lot of rock and roll songs. I can contribute a lot in the artistic, geopolitical, artistic, and a little bit of the rock and roll. Lots of rock and roll, because I rock and roll 24/7. And tomorrow's geopolitics all week, Wednesday, and of course Tuesday. And it's gonna be geopolitics in the morning, geopolitics in the afternoon, geopolitics, and I gotta go to the doctor, gotta go to the dentist, you know, because I gotta retrieve some archives, some medical archives, and I gotta inspect my scars, and I want to do a blood test. I don't want to do a blood test. I will to do a blood test and check some of my scars. You know, I discussed it in the past. I do have scars on my androgynous diclet, genitalia, my 50-50 androgynous genitalia, who sometimes thanks God is blessed and been healing a lot, and I just get itches on due to that. Could be psoriasis, but I've been waiting for a family doctor for more than 44 months now, more than 3.5 years now for a family doctor. So I still have to do my medicals and still have to inspect the little scar. It could be psoriasis. Psoriasis is a skin condition, which is you live with that for the whole life. There is no really, unless by surgery, but otherwise it itches. So it could be psoriasis. So on my androgynous genitalia, but it's functioning, no problem urinating or such matters. And as sometimes, you know, the androgynous diclet gets that rocket. And I'm not looking for anything romantic or sexually. Friends with benefits only. I'm part of the LGBTQ community. The most I'm craving is a good massage, and willing to exchange massages and blah blah blah. You know, only friends with benefits, friends with benefits only. You know what to expect, services and consent hygiene, and I'm not looking for anything specific. I work out on the daily, workout, train, exercise, and do geopolitics and rock and roll. And I have my dream, the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom, which is fundamentally my dream for a public-private partnership across the collective North American civilizational complex for the North American Union coast to coast, and to create two complementary covenant and cooperative institutions, the Dragon Army Public-Private Partnership Institution, the Dragon Army, and of course it is a public-private partnership initiative only and strictly for security, service, and defense based on my philosophies and protocols. For security, service, and defense based on my protocols and philosophies, the security, service, and defense, and of course the Dancing Goddess Army, for pleasure and purpose, for the environmental purpose of the environment, cleaning the forests, the rivers, the oceans, and mass cleaning for environmental purposes, and for, of course, for the well-being and wellness, because dancing is a great sport, great fitness activity, and I love dancing. I hear music, I just start dancing, and yours truly can dance for hours. So tomorrow is geopolitics, go to the doctor, workout, rock and roll, email, and basically that's it for the 3 days, except for today's especially inauguration cleaning day. So the agenda for New Year's is just basically kind of my rituals on the daily, which I do, of course, when I have to do laundry. It's a special laundry day as it is today, Monday, so I have to do a few laundry batches, and then I have to do that rock and roll. But pretty much that's what's been happening for me, pretty much a routine and ritualized routine, which Asperger's people have, you know, with the kind of could be seen kind of regimented, but for the past years, and has been from the morning geopolitical analysis. I wake up, I do geopolitical revision, geopolitical theorizing analysis of the events of the past days, of the past weeks and months and years, and bringing them up, updating them to the new events of today, because it's always fluctuating, the world of geopolitics. And of course we got a congruent to my dream, the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom, which is a geopolitical affair in many many ways. It is a geopolitical affair because it's establishing a new concordium and a new covenant from the mountain Belvedere. Yours truly pledge your allegiance, to our family, and we can do better. Calling on Trump to sign the executive order for the support of the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom. My dream, the support of the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom. The support of the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom. Dream, and to build 44 tunnels and to establish the dragon army, parallel public-private partnership, joint NORAD base, Canada, United States joint, just like the NHL, which is not national, it's binational. We got to get that binational. We got to create a common passport, common currency called the UE by the implementation of my debt refusion theory, and that's what we got to do with that rock and roll for the 50 states. And I don't know about that 51st state because we're 40 plus million here, 10 provinces, 3 territories, but I am for a union as equals here in the true north, strong and free. That's our motto. And my brothers and sisters in the USA, you got the home of in the land of the free and the home of the brave. We both got the word free. I got freedom tattooed here, freedom, but freedom is something new under the sun, Mr. Solomon, and it has to be insured. And we can do better in policing, the security service, and as millionaires, billionaires, NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB, can definitely do better in all the things that we can do. In no way that now, if I would have had billions and millions, that I would have not given 10% to food banks, 10% to financially struggling. I wished actually to have 44 billion. When Trump got elected on the 6th, I would have started going at 10. I would have taken 10% of that wealth, which would have been 44 billion. That would have been 4.4 billion. A billion has 9 zeros. That would have been the equivalent of 44 billion. 10% would have been the equivalent of 4.4 billion, which is 4,400 million. And I would have went distributed across North America. I would have put a hoodie on, went incognito, like my anonymous friend sometimes calls me, you look like a bum. And to homeless, veterans, black, white, whatever, across North America, men, women, I would have taken that 10% of 44 billion, which I would have had, and I would have taken 50,000. I would have distributed 50,000 to different citizens across North America, 50,000, and I would have whispered, this is my second chance. This is your redemption. This is my second chance. This is your redemption. This is my second chance. This is your redemption. This is my second chance. This is your redemption. Because I'm not totally selfless to pretend that I don't have, and I discuss it often. Now it's adult topics. Part of the androgynous pansexual community. If I would have I have a weird sexuality. My sexual energies and sexual pleasures are black and white and rainbow. And I discuss it because I discussed it online already. I don't want secret services of China. Don't need to cross the ocean. Stay over there. Don't cross the Pacific. Secret services of Russia. Don't need to cross the Atlantic to spy on Rainbow Dragon. If you want willingly living consent to my fellow LGBTQ and allies community, we rock and roll 24/7 and consent and hygiene. And I get dirty but get back clean. It's got to get that LOVE, because the true north, strong and free, has got to have some LOV in it. Otherwise, what are we fighting for? Canadian Armed Forces, I say with LOV, to my brother, citizen defense minister, Bill Blair. From this brother who is sometimes a sister, bro, 50-50, that, to put on the uniform, you got to go change it, put a new protocol in place. The Dragon Army Initiative put a new protocol to go change the diapers at least once before you put on that uniform in the daycares. Change the diapers in the daycares to see what you're fighting for. As the children are innocent, the youth, right? And as an aspiring artist who has written several children's books, but my children's books are thematic of firefighters, of nature, of farming, of nature and civilization themes. Basically nature and a little bit of movement and dance rhythm, But I wasn't able to pay $500 for the literary agent, $500 for the literary agent. But here I am, androgynous, pansexual, and getting that philosophy on the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom. And I'm going to go now check on my laundry, encouraging all to work out, train, exercise. Thank you those picking up the garbage collectors, the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the doctors, the grocery store clerks, those in the warehouses. As I'm involved now to send some LOV and calling on Donald Trump to implement 3 executive orders, one of which to build the 44 tunnels, joint public-private partnership, and one to support the Operation Northern Scorpio, which is part of one operation ongoing on my philosophies and theories as a geopolitical analyst and theorist. And forget that Panama Canal for now. Let's focus on building the 44 tunnels and Canada-US joint Operation Northern Scorpio and doing the census, a North American census and a common passport and a common currency, the DRT, and of course to do that defense and to rebuild the North American inner cities, aka the North American ghettos. Sign an executive order for that, to build the North American inner cities, the North American ghettos. Billionaires, owners of the NFL, National Football League, blah blah blah, owners of the NHL, blah blah, NFL, NHL, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB, millionaire artists, millionaires, you're invited, all CEOs, public-private partnership to the dream, the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom, and I can rock and roll, I can dance, I can kiss, wash some feet if I must, you know, I can get dirty, get back clean. And today I was a bit of a mess earlier this morning, but as I started doing the first laundry, you know, started feeling better, started feeling active, you know, and I did the laundry, and here I am doing this video, philosophical video, artist, athlete, philosopher, financially stressed, but always open for business, 24/7, you know, 24/7, rock and roll. And for the goal on the post, you gotta move it as we go today on the January, you know, somebody kissing in those states across Canada, you know, they play on that skate with the puck and gotta see so you know up in the B. Hey, we got the harmony, gotta play for the true north, strong and free, yes. But it's not all about strength. It's not about strength. We gotta have some LOVE in it, in that pot. Strength and freedom has to be insured. And I wish I would have had 44 billion. I would have went in Canada to give 50,000 to different citizens. With 10% of 44 billion would have been an enormous sum of money. And I would have been able to do lots of good for a lot of people. I would have done that. In these tough economic times, ain't no way. And I'm selfish sometimes. I love my wafers, my sweets, you know, I lust, you know. I'm a pretty lustful person, you know, but I'm not sexually frustrated. I have a pretty good, you know, masturbation, pretty good, you know, so I'm pretty good with that. I'm friends with benefits only, pledge your allegiance to our family, please. Friends with benefits only, pledge your allegiance, but, you know, that's how it is. And freedom is something new under the sun, Mr. Solomon, you know, freedom. You gotta have some freedom with security. Freedom has to be insured. Freedom has to be also defined. You know, freedom, and sometimes it's in the center. As a pro-labor, universal revolutionary centrist, now I believe where we are today, the public-private partnership best across the North American collective. There's a potential for a World War III, for a thermonuclear war. It's possible. That it's on the horizon. It's a possibility that now as I'm speaking, the ROC, Republic of China, gets invaded by the People's Republic of China, which is another conflict dating from the 21st century, which was not fully resolved. As we have here, made in the Great North American Collective, we made what I call the Great Linguistic Compromise, and many compromises for the Canada, US, even Mexico, because Mexico is part of North America, to have peace, a relative harmony, so that there's no war between us. Here in Quebec, we made what I call the Great Linguistic Compromise of the French language. The Great Linguistic Compromise of the French language is something which, of course, we got to continuously do it. And as a Quebecer myself, I have to also do my due part as an individual to congratulate somebody who makes an effort just for speaking French, and also myself to encourage also others for English, you know, and to give and to take. And there's a certain way about it. Me with Asperger's, sometimes in the social dynamics and social interactions can be quite weird and very awkward, because I'm less able in certain things, and we have certain characteristics. I do not use the appellation terminology symptoms, because they're not really symptoms. They're really characteristics that somebody who's on HFA, high functioning autistic, aka ASPI and Asperger's, has to work on, and sometimes it requires a lot of effort. And for example, give you an example, concrete and practical, and that ASPI's have trouble with personal space. So an ASPI might come very close to you when in discussion, in conversation, might approach you like this, and it's just because those things can be hard, the social cues and social norms and gossip and things like that. We just don't understand those things from our neurotypical perspective, you know, and we can seem very direct, very rude or very offensive, but it's not because we offend, you know. It's not because we will to offend, because we will to offend, you know, because we will to offend. It's just we're different. The Aspies, we're just neurotypical. We have our strengths. We have our strengths when it comes to our specific interests. And my holy trinity, of course, is geopolitics, sports, fitness, dancing, and of course dancing and rock and roll. I can go in trances of rock and roll. I create rock and roll songs on the daily. Want a proof? What proof do you want for the rock and roll? The one. Got a singer and the sun is shining. Truckers on the road, let's go. Give him a raise, Wall Street. Don't be so selfish on the beats. Gotta give a kiss and a hiss. You know I ain't that selfless. I ain't that selfish. Gotta get that 50-50. Hey, pledge your allegiance, Rainbow Dragon. Gotta kiss it. Who's that word? Freedom. Gotta kiss it for the black and white. Gotta kiss it for the rainbow on the site. Gotta get that whip. Gotta get that whip. For the nose and for the creamer. For the nose and for the screamer. Gotta get dirty, get back cleaner. Gotta get dirty, get back cleaner. Hey, get some cuisine. Yeah, rock and roll. 24/7 rock and roll. I could go on and on and on rock and roll. Just that's freestyle. Freestyle rock and roll freestyle. I'm actually stressed. Ain't got no money for the guitar, but you know, I got $44 and some cents to last me. I can't believe I still have $44 and some cents. $44 and some cents, but I gotta buy socks and underwear. Now I gotta go turn that new laundry, get a new laundry load, and we'll be right back continuing this, gonna get a little bit of that English, and while I am gone for about a few seconds only, maybe maximum 45 seconds, more than 44 seconds. Do some push-ups, do some stretches, meditate on what I said while I'm gone for the next 44 seconds. I gotta put on the laundry mat. I gotta put another load, you know, or laundry. So while I'm gone for the next session, just do some push-ups, do some hawks, and do some squats, and encourage you all to work out, train, exercise, and help support build the Forgotten Goddess Temple, the Forgotten Goddess Temple, the Forgotten Goddess Temple, the Forgotten Goddess Temple, the Forgotten Goddess, GODDSS, the Forgotten Goddess Temple, androgynous pansexual play that rainbow. Rock and roll as we go on this inauguration. This Quebecer Canadian who was born in the USA twice in a past life, was born as a man, served in the United States Army, and once was born as a woman. Sometimes my reincarnations, I was born as a woman, sometimes as a man, and now you get that 50-50. Auctioning everything that I'm wearing. If I get 50%, I'm going to give 50% half to my anonymous friend who wasn't my friend because of the money, because I never had any. Let's go Donald Trump. Dragon versus Trump. I got those gloves, red, since I'm challenging Donald Trump to a boxing match on the Canadian-West border ever since. Donald Trump started in position tariffs on Canadian aluminum and steel back in 2018, in the spring 2018. Back in 2018, of course, tariffs were imposed on the Canadian aluminum and steel industry. And back before then, I was kind of on the sidelines. I stayed on the sidelines, just coming out of my depression and being suicidal, And back then, of course, I came out of being depressed and suicidal. I created my own workout training program system, of which I did and performed more than 372 of them. And at 300, I changed my name. Officially, that A turned into an O. Dragon became Dragon, and changed my surname. Nobody is born a dragon. I didn't get to change my name because of a surname. I took blood, sweat, and tears, and that's the motto of the Dragon Army. Changed that A into an O. Dragon became Dragon. Dragon now, DRAGAON, Dragon, and gonna get that money to change my name officially. Rock and roll 24/7 for the butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, grocery store clerks, all involved in the production and the distribution of food. Dragon versus Trump, special edition, of course. Dragon versus Trump 2018 was the year, of course, when I started challenging Donald Trump to a boxing match on the Canadian border, and still do. Mr. President, let's go toe to toe. Let's go for the North America. No tariffs. I'm going to have to say love, LOV, and I'm not a card-carrying member liberal, but I got to say, you know, as much as I disagree with certain things about Justin Trudeau, at the end of the day, I got to send some LOV to Justin Trudeau, my cousin, because I consider Canadians, Quebecers, North Americans my family, you know. My family, or a big family, and sometimes, you know, with the Asperger's, I'm just a weirdo, but got to get Justin Trudeau's back, you know, and I'm glad Donald Trump said that he will not use military force, because I was about ready to go implement and meditate on my total mobile defense theory, total mobile defense theory, and of course go on the mountain and get ready for guerrilla war, guerrilla war with rocks. There's plenty of rocks there and plenty of wood. Get ready. So we're not going to have any conflict of such a matter. Canadian, Canada, United States, we're going to rock and roll together, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, and Dragon Army, we're going to play that defense. Defense only, coast to coast, like that hardball ball, aka hardball ball, aka the blackout ball. When my 49ers lost, we're gonna play that defense, coast to ocean, defense, security, and service, and encouraging all to work out, train, exercise. I'm gonna go for a few seconds to go check out my laundromat, because I gotta be grateful, thankful that I got a laundromat. And yours truly, Dragon versus Trump on the Canadian-US border. Let's go build that forgotten goddess, GODDSSS, goddess temple with the North American People's Imperial Coliseum, and the House of the Dragon, and the House of the Dragon, and the House of the Dragon. That's what I built, to build the forgotten goddess temple. And bury me with Papa Crowley, a third of me in Hampton, New Jersey. Telemites want to be Telemite here, just a piece of dust. But I got some lusts. I play that rainbow for the truckers, for the butchers, for the bakers, for the nurses, for the grocery store clerks. Gotta sing it. Gotta swing those hips. Gotta play up into this. For this mist, you know I kiss. For a kiss, you know I hiss. For the snakes and for the hawks. For the hawks and for the snakes. Dragon versus Trump on the Canadian-US border. Still, Mr. President, your president, you know, but still challenging you to citizen, financially struggling citizen, philosopher, artist, androgynous pansexual Adrian Hanna Dragon, androgynous pansexual, founder of the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom, which I'm laying the foundation with. First and foremost, 718 trillions of kisses. First and foremost, 718 trillions of kisses. First and foremost, 718 trillions of kisses. Laying the foundations for the first kingdom here. Democratic Republic, pledge your allegiance, public-private partnership with kisses. First kingdom to be founded by kisses. And lots of sunlight, and you got to get that moon also. Takes that 50-50. God, goddess bless America. I'm going to say, when you say God bless America, I'm going to say goddess kiss America. Goddess kiss. Kisses I got by the trillions. Money I don't, and I will to build the forgotten goddess temple. Enough talk, I gotta go. Do the second laundry. Do another load of laundry, rock and roll, be back, and boy, I'm gone. Do some push-ups, do some hawks, and say the word goddess very fast, 7 times. Goddess. There we go. Fresh laundry. Fresh laundry. It's Monday's laundry day, cleaning day, and I was a bit of a mess earlier this morning. I was a bit of a mess, but you know, it's real life, real life. Laundry, cleaning, and cooking. I didn't cook that much. Actually, I'm slow cooking, so it's not over. I started slow cooking earlier this morning around 10 o'clock, so I gave about 7 hours, so 10 to 7, I was going to be ready in about a few hours already. Wow, time flies. And here we go, I got the laundry, so I'm going to check out my laundry, and got some flags, and got to put that laundry there, because this is, of course, going to be for tonight. I'm going to sleep in it, so gonna rock and roll. Freestyle rock and roll, calling all to pledge your allegiance, support the dream. The dancing goddess in the dragon kingdom, the dancing goddess in the dragon kingdom, the dancing goddess in the dragon kingdom. I'm joyous. I'm just financially stressed, but besides that, I'm good. I'm open for business. I have a lot of valuable things here in the room of Sun Temple, which I'm auctioning, and my will, to be honest, the one thing that I will to achieve, because I created my survival to the goddess. Goddess, as many attribute their whatever to God, that's okay, whatever spiritual beliefs you have, but in my spirituality, I always say goddess as well. Goddess, Goddess. I also say goddess, in my appellation, my spirituality. I don't know, I guess. Her temples are the pyramids, so I'm a piece of dust. Goddess doesn't need me to build her no temple. She has everything she needs. I'm just a piece of dust, to the goddess's face, just trash. Piece of dust. Who lusts, who goes wild on the mountain, and, it's clit, dig, lit, but the goddess doesn't need me to build, or anybody of us to build her temples, because her temples stand, the pyramids, tombs and temples, and the sun still shines like it did before, and will shine long after I'm gone. So just don't waste your time following some fool's orders, Just transcend and make LOV today, carpe diem, like it's your last day. That's how I live it, carpe diem, since I died of COVID, Played that defense, and I am hyper vigilant because my own trauma. But with all that stated, I do will to build the forgotten goddess temple, goddess on the Canadian-U.S. border. Not an old temple, but a new temple with a new light, a new temple with a new light, a new temple with a new light. Lots of dancing, lots of push-ups, lots of working out, training, exercising. Parallel forgotten goddess temple on the Canadian-U.S. border. Let's go NFL National Football League, NHL National Hockey League, NBA National Basketball Association, MLB, and of course parallel, to that, to build the House of the Dragon, the House of the Dragon, and of course the Scarlet Crimson House of the Dragon. I only need a small pyramid, and the North American People's Imperial Coliseum, the North American People's Imperial Coliseum, the North American People's Imperial Coliseum. That's my will to build, and that's what I will to build, The North American People's Imperial Coliseum. Grateful, thankful, gonna sleep on fresh tonight. Gonna sleep on the fresh air. Sometimes you gotta get that new beginning. I began, when I moved here, was a new beginning for yours truly. I gotta check exactly when, because it must have been more than 7 years ago for sure. More than 7 years ago. Because 7 years ago, from here, I crossed Canada coast to coast. Then I survived COVID in 2020. COVID, it was like death, pestilence, and disease. It was like death, pestilence, and disease. Sounds like a hardcore death, trash metal song, But that's how I felt. And I survived. And here I am. Name change, created my workout training program system. Got some will, got some brain, some muscle, but have Asperger's, which I've accepted in the past 45 months. So my neurodivergence makes me a bit socially awkward, and uncertain dynamics of social interaction, and we're less able. If you're an Asp, you have Asperger's, the neurodivergent mental condition known as HFA, then what's the deal. You know the deal. Friends with benefits only. Pledge your legions, and I live for today, but I have hope for tomorrow. I really have hope for tomorrow. I would have voted for Biden, Kamala Harris. That's for sure. That's what I would have been voting. But now Donald Trump is in, and I calling for him to fight me on the Canadian-U.S. border and to implement the Trinity of theories, the CIT, Citizen Integration Theory, the Democratic Fusion Theory, and the Citizen Integration Theory, Democratic Fusion Theory, and of course the Democratic Fusion Theory, DFT, it's a theory which I'm calling the implementation, the CIT, Citizen Integration Theory, and of course the Democratic Fusion Theory, Citizen Integration Theory, and of course the CIT, Citizen Integration Theory, DRT, Debt Fusion Theory, and the DFT, Democratic Fusion Theory, to be integrated and to be implemented at Trinity of theories via that fourth dimension, and that's what it is with that. And that's what it is with that. So that's what we gotta get doing, you know. Rock and roll, I gotta sing in the snow. True north, strong and free as you go with liberty. I gotta sing it, gotta swing it. I gotta. So I had a dream interpretation. I dreamed that I proposed, but I'm not sure what answer I got. Because, you know, for myself, a marriage, it's going to be a special marriage, you know. Because I have my weirdness, my Asperger's, and being part of the LGBTQ community, you know, and androgynous, pansexual, likes that BDSM switch, pansexuals, you know, like, oh, different type of marriage, like, more friendship marriage, you know, stuff like that. Anyways, yeah, gotta sing it for the swing, for the sing and for the swings. Truckers on the road, North America they go. Auctioning these pants also $1 million. Gonna give half, 50% to my anonymous friend, auctioning them for $1 million. Gonna give half to my anonymous friend. Gotta sing. Gotta rock and roll. It ain't all about the bling. It ain't all about the money. Wall Street gives some charity. It ain't all about the money. Wall Street gives some charity. It ain't all about the money. Wall Street, do I gotta say please to give some charity? You know? Auctioning this flag as well. $1 million. I can buy all the flags that I have at secondhand. I don't even remember what I had when I moved here, like more than 7 years ago. I think I had nothing really that I still have, that I still possess. And my anonymous friend gifted me this great shirt. It's kind of cleaning it's good for today. We started the Operation Cleaning Week, all the week, Monday to Friday. I'm going to be cleaning, auctioning everything, and give secondhand everything I need to get secondhand. But starting today with lots of washing. And these pants, I got them secondhand, I remember, because they were made in Canada. They're still out there. They are made in Canada. And I got them, I think, $7. And I said, wow, made in Canada. And they look new. And before, 5 years ago, I couldn't put them. Because I was overweight. So now I can wear them. You know? So I'm auctioning them for $1 million to give 50% half to my anonymous friend. And I'm actually, although it's cold, I'm gonna be going later after 6. I gotta check what time it is because I gotta take the trash out. So big black bag, take the trash out. Thank you, public workers. We're gonna pick up the sanitation. We're gonna pick up the garbage. Hey, for the public workers now, a little rock and roll. A little rock and roll for the public workers picking up the garbage in those trucks with their hands up. They gotta swing and not to miss. They gotta take the bag. What a public sanitation for the cities or the North America. Hey, sometimes we gotta go for the man up and for the athletes gotta swing like a sport. Sport that public sanitation, that's a port, a comport. Hey, ain't no fumble up with it, don't fumble. Don't fumble, don't drop the bag in the garbage. That's what's up. Gotta salute the public workers. Gotta send some LOVE to the public workers, the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the doctors, the warehouse workers, those train conductors, public bus drivers, the teachers, teaching some mathematics, teaching some French, teaching some English. All the teachers now gonna send some LOVE, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, North Americans unite. Always include the workers of the North American Collective. Let's get that North American Collective Workers Party and get this one is for these. I gotta put that back, so that's what it is with that. Let's see. Yeah. It's good to have fresh. Gotta get that fresh, man. Just the laundry, just 3 loads today, so 3 loads is about 2 hours each, so 6 hours of work, but I'm grateful, thankful for the machine. So today, although it's cold, I'm gonna have to go later on, buy some, just need underwear and socks, and that's it. I'm good to go for the winter, for the rest of the winter. Underwear and socks. I'm gonna think about the workers now in the warehouse workers across North America and steel. I have jobs that I really enjoyed during COVID, and I actually love different work, even physical work. It's just with Asperger's, it's a high unemployment among people with, like myself, with Asperger's. So if I ever get a financial position, financial record, I have to also, besides financing environmental, LGBTQ, and women's sports and food security, women's sports, food security. My next purchase, if I ever have money, is the Victoire from the Professional Women's Hockey League, and I'm gonna finance, of course, not just the Professional Women's Hockey League, but I'm gonna finance the autistics and people with autism and people with Asperger's, because it's supposedly 80. Gotta double check the statistics, but 8 out of 10, which is 4 out of 5 people with Asperger's are unemployed. There's still a lot of misunderstandings about what it is. It's a lot of confusion between Asperger's, HFA, and mental illness and being a disability. But yes, in certain things, Aspies, myself included, we're less able. We're less able in certain social circumstances, social cues, We can seem very offensive, very rude, but it's not because we want to. It's just we don't understand certain things, and we can seem very offensive, very direct and rude, and I don't know. It's just how it is, Now when it comes to our special interest, also known as obsessive interest, and even now, see, I was folding this flag, auctioning it for $1 million. Gonna give 50% to my anonymous friend. I was auctioning it for $1 million. I was made it's the German flag. I think I got it secondhand also during COVID or just before, in the past 7+ years, since I've been living here for more than 7 years now. I think during before that, so I was exactly meditating on the German political situation right now, the German political situation, while I was folding it in terms of my mind, the dynamics. And I'm a pro-labor and love universal revolutionary centrist, and sometimes I gotta go issue by issue. But being that I'm a geopolitical theoretical analyst and theorist who has predicted in 2019, my work from 2019, October, November till now, is kind of in an international conflagration, aka World War III mode, because I predicted that there's gonna be type of a World War III situation scenario. And many situations of the world, that's what's unfolding at the moment, speaking theoretically, not just in a theoretical manner, but that's the many conflicts which have not been resolved in the 20th century. They have restarted now, or of course have restarted now. In the 20th century now, in the 20th century now. So they have restarted now, but that's what it is with that. So this one needs a little bit, I think I'm gonna put it again for 2 minutes in the dryer to dry again. I'm not only fully content with its level of dryness, so just gonna put it for 2 more minutes. Gonna be back. Okay, that's done. Yeah, I want to give it, just make sure that it's completely dry before I put it away, because I have weekend bed sheets on regular week, Monday to Friday, and for the Sabbath, which begins the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom, the Sabbath begins at midnight on Friday and it lasts until Sunday sunset. So it's more than 44 hours, almost 45 hours, almost 45 hours. The Sabbath of the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom lasts, and pledge your legions to our family, and let's get that dancing goddess dragon kingdom. This is fundamentally a dream, my dream for a public-private partnership across the collective North American civilization complex to finance foundation, the Dragon Army, aka North American Integrated Security Service and Defense Force, Security Service and Defense Force only, Security Service and Defense Force only, and the Dancing Goddess Army, the North American Integrated Dance League, and that's what it is with that, and that's what we gotta get doing here, So this one is my cover for tonight, auctioning this one for $1 million. It doesn't have that much of a scent. I bought it on special, and it's a good one. bought it on special. It's a good one, but it's not that scented. So it doesn't have, it's not that aromatic. The scent is not that great. It has a slight scent, but so I'm gonna sleep on it tonight, auctioning it for a man. Gonna give half 50% to my anonymous friend who wasn't my friend because of the money, because I never had any. Wasn't my friend because of the money, because I never had any. So that's what it is with that. That's what it is with that. And that's what we gotta get going on that, dude. And that's what we gotta get doing, you know. So let's see, socks. Gonna check, inspect. If it's not, of course, if it's not XYZ, if it's not XYZ with that, so. Gonna put it in. Oh yeah. Put it in and out, and I gotta put a little bit of rock and roll in it, and I swing it. I was just thinking of a poem. It's a poem by my, call him Papa, like a father, you know, like my father, Aleister Crowley. Bury a third of me in New Jersey, Hampton, you know, spiritually. I love you, old fool. Somebody gotta love him. Somebody gotta love him. Somebody gotta love L-O-V-E. This is it. $1 million. There we go. So that's what it is. That's what it is. That's what it is. And that's what we're gonna do. These are thick. Thank you, anonymous friend. I really love these socks. Gotta thank my anonymous friend who got a gift, and they're really good for the winter. They're really, really good for the winter. So now I want to discuss quickly the DRT theory, depth fusion theory. But first, actually, I think I have to go. I'm gonna take the black bag of the trash out. Just gonna take the. Just gonna have to give me a minute, because I'm gonna have to take the black bag out. So I have to take the trash, the garbage. It's once a week, so it's today, Monday. Montreal, my neighborhood, you know, big neighborhood. It's a big city, big island, Hawk Island, aka H-A-W-K, Hawk Island, aka Montreal is a big island. You know, it's not a small island. It's quite big. 2.5 million people. It's a metropolis, and these socks are also great. Thank you, anonymous friend, for the donation of these socks. And this one is missing the pair. Oh, I think the pair is in the other one. These underwears are pretty cool. Auctioning them for $1 million, and I love the combination black and red. So they have a little bit of, I'm not sure if it's like a dragon on it. It's like a, it looks to me like a dragon face, but it could be something else to me, because I mean, dragon flag, you know. But I'm not sure on the hat. It's my weekend hat. Gonna go change the. I'll be back in a minute. I'm gonna go check on the laundromat. Beginning after first I'm gonna take the garbage out. So I'm gonna be back in about a minute. Just if you're watching this while I'm gone, just don't waste time. Just stretch, do some push-ups, do some squats, or meditate on world peace, or do a little bit of exercise, meditate on world peace. Twist those hips a little bit, left to right. Twist those hips, maybe just do some physical activity, maybe. I always get joy, and I always lost between 80 and 93 pounds. I lost between 80 and 93 pounds, and if it's sports, fitness, activity, I'm there. I'm with it. If it's dancing, I'm more Overtime dancing is my favorite sport and fitness activity, and rock and roll with it, and geopolitics, and getting that rebirth for the North American Collective, for the North American Union, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, for some LOVE. LOVE, I'm always there, LOVE. Black, white, and rainbow, I'm always there. Hug like you never hugged before, big hug, blah, blah. Rock and roll. That's what it is. That's what it is with that. And that's what we gotta keep doing. Oh yeah, a victory! Found the match. Found the match, found the match, found the match. Hey, gotta check up on the watch. Tack, tack, tick, tock. On the watch, you know the clock. How to sing, I don't know how to play the guitar. I ain't got no money for the guitar, I live my scars. But I sing that rock and roll on the butchers and the truckers and the nurses. Nurses and the butchers and the truckers and the firefighters, LOVE. Gotta sing it for the swing, gotta sing it for the bee, gotta swing it for the bees. There's a honey with your seeds in the trees, you know with me. Black and white or rainbow when I kiss it on the go-post that you know, on the swinging on the go. Hey, the bees, putting up in the super babies. Don't be so selfish, Wall Street. Don't be so selfish, Wall Street. Don't be... Don't be so selfish, Wall Street. I gotta go. Now I gotta go to take the garbage, you know. Gonna go to check the garbage, and we'll be back. We'll be back in a minute. Swing it. Gee, don't waste your time. Do some stretches, some workouts, and you know, whatever. Clean your room, millennials, Gen Z millennials, you know. Do some swiping. I'm gonna take the garbage out. I have to take the garbage out now. Gotta put something on because it's cold there, you know. So gotta put it on. It's like about second-hand. I'm auctioning it for $1 million. $1 million. And buy it second hand, gonna give 50% $1 million, and I just washed it in the first, so it's got it good now, you know. Yes, I washed my hands because I touched the garbage. I washed my hands. Now I gotta dry. So yes, I had to go wash my hands, you know, because I touched the garbage. So it's best to wash the hands after. Wash the hands, and something which we can always do better in hygiene. And I get dirty, get back clean, get dirty, get back clean. And my third load of laundry is done. The garbage is out, so it's good. It's a good day. Third load of laundry is gonna finish. Gonna put it in the dryer. So that took 6 hours just to do that work. And grateful, thankful for the laundromat, the laundry machine, the washer and the dryer. Grateful, thankful for the washer and the dryer. Grateful, thankful for the washer and the dryer. It's work, you know. So it's always arbeit, and whatever. As an independent geopolitical theoretical analyst and theorist, independent artist, independent philosopher, independent geopolitical theoretical analyst and theorist, and always working in many ways. Independent. I work. I love working, especially in geopolitics, and I'm an independent geopolitical analyst and theorist. And I'm going to show a little bit of. I'm going to show off as a Canadian something to the world. I'm going to show the Rockies a little bit. We're just going to put this away. This is my weekend nice, eh? Ah, smells good. Smells fresh. It's not that scented, but it's kind of good, see? Gotta fold it nice, put it away for the weekend. This is my weekend one, so auctioning it for $1 million. I'm gonna give 50% to my anonymous friend. He's got some friendly looking avocado. He's got some avocados. They're even happy, they're like dancing. They look, they kind of look happy. See, they look happy, just... They look happy, I don't know, just the impression I get from that. So let's go. Where it is, the Rockies, where the Rockies. The Canadian Rockies, and this is a picture here of Banff. This is a picture of Banff here. This is, well, close to Banff. It's the Rockies, but Banff. So it reminds me when in 2017, yours truly before that event, I crossed Canada coast to coast in 2017 in August. And of course in September I went to Halifax, Nova Scotia, and that event changed my whole life. Made me kind of come out of being depressed and suicidal, because I had like an awakening. I had an awakening, a revelation. I said, so many things to do, to see here across Canada, across the US, you know, the Rockies, the mountains, the valleys, the deserts, you name it. We have so much to see just in Canada, the second biggest country in the world, you know, after Russia's first geographically, in terms of expanses, in terms of geography, the width and the length, and of course the square miles and the square kilometers. Square miles and square kilometers, the square miles and square kilometers, you know. Is that 9.9 million, B? 9.9 million, right? I gotta double check. Kilometers, though, kilometers, not miles, so we gotta convert, as we're gonna do the conversion. When we implement the DRT, the Debt Fusion Theorem, we're gonna create the universal exchange unit, right? We're gonna create the universal exchange unit together. Here it is. The Canadian Rockies, gonna go Dragon versus Trump. For the Rockies, for the bakers, for the butchers, and those barley producers. We got cognac, we got whiskey, we got to drink, we got to eat, we got the oil and the rigs. We got the Hydro-Quebec. Gotta give a shout out, LOVE, to Hydro-Quebec workers of the past who build the dams across the North American Collective, across the North American Civilization Collective, all the dams which are built, constructed, across the North American Civilization Collective in the 20th century. We gotta build some more dams, more hydroelectric dams, and my electricity above my head, and the one that I'm utilizing to do this electricity comes from clean, zero pollution energy. Oh. Well, I got a Storytime certificate from 2021, Storytime animator certificate. I did a lot of certification. I write children's books, but not published. I wrote a few already, but they're not published. So here we're gonna see a little bit. I'm gonna keep this there. Thank goodness I checked. Now I know where it is. Is one of my certificate, because I like to animate, do animation, you know, as an artist, and something which I LOVE, you know, to read. And too. Here we are. We're gonna check those. Rainbow over the town of Banff. See, look at this. Look at this beauty. Canadian Rockies. I want to go see again. So many, I mean, aside from Banff, right? Where's a picture of Banff here? The Bow Valley Parkway. Banff National Park. That was when I saw the Rockies and coming close to Banff National Park, I was like awestruck. I was really awestruck. It was really amazing. Springs Hotel. That's something I have to stay in. I never stay there, of course, because we traveled from Montreal to Vancouver 3.5 days by bus in 2017 in August, and to come back 3.5 days. It took us 3.5 days. 3.5 days by bus from Montreal to Halifax, 25 hours and 44 minutes, and I still have the tickets from 2017. That event changed my whole life. Before that, I was depressed, suicidal, and that turned my whole life around. And then I had COVID, survived it, and had many employments, many jobs, but short-lived. And with my Asperger's, HFA, high-functioning autism, and for many years I've been diagnosed by several different citizens, and several people have told me, you have Asperger's, you're on the spectrum, and I said no, I didn't want to accept it until about 3.5 years ago, and still waiting on a family doctor. Got to have a lot of consultations to do for my scars, for my medical appointments, which I'm gonna do ASAP this week, and for the teeth and what have you. But nonetheless, working out, training, exercising is something which keeps me happy and joyous, and I regularly do exercise every day. Everyday physical activity is something which I love, because it's one of my obsessive interests, fitness and sports, and special interest, especially dancing. So wow, look at this. Hot Springs, Rimrock Hotel. And this one we got Winter Dawn. This is also beautiful, isn't it? Beautiful. So that's what we got to do, we got to put in place Canada and show off a little bit of Canada. Team Canada, Dragon versus Trump, North America, unite also. My brothers and sisters in the USA, we got to unite. We got a public-private partnership all the way. Quite beautiful. Wow, look how majestic. That's a big hotel there in the middle, see? That's a big hotel there. So we got a lot to see just in Canada, just in Quebec. Quebec. We have so many things I haven't seen just in Quebec as well. Just in Montreal. My island metropolis is 2.5 million people. Hawk Island, Montreal, so many, although I know and I roamed in the past many years, and with one foot in the streets, one foot in the libraries, where I've read hundreds of books. And if I check my library record for the past, I don't know, since more than 13 years, let's say, and my memory blacks out before after 7, 8, 9 years, but sure, it's hundreds of books on just mainly 90% on geopolitics, history, politics, geopolitics, history, which history got included in geopolitics, right? So, but nonetheless, other topics as well. You got the moose here in Canada, moose. So we got lots of things. We got lakes, we got rivers. Great book, I recommend it, and you gotta get with it right here. And this one looks beautiful, eh? Peak. Castle Mountain, and we gotta get those leaves and those flowers, and gotta get some more canoes on Lake Louise. With these, gotta swing on the water, gotta move on the water, gotta get it on the water. Moraine Lake reflections. Wow. So we got so many things to do there. Here as well, see how many, wow, so many things. This is called Valley of 10 Peaks. Wow, look at that. Valley of 10 Peaks. That's what we gotta go doing with that, and gotta get doing on that, so. Here we go. Another one. You got the lake and the mountain, just wow. Chateau Lake Louise. Some chipmunks eating it, kissing on their tails or whatever they're doing, their business, but I don't know exactly what they're doing, but so wow, just amazing. The whole book is amazing. Just pictures and the wonder trails and cyclists. Look at that. Showing off a little Canada, Donald versus Trump. Was a document and my anonymous friend. And that's what we gotta get doing, and gotta get doing with that, and gotta get doing with XYZ, and that's what it is. That's what it is. And here it is, another one, another one, another one, another one. And here we are on the Jasper, and we gotta get doing. And here we go. Yeah, we gotta get doing with that. This is beautiful, isn't that beautiful? That's a beauty with the rocks there, rocks. Big rocks, small rocks, medium rocks, all sorts of large rocks. Volunteer certificate 2016. Wow, 2016. Just before I went on cross Canada coast to coast. Just before I crossed Canada coast to coast. Just before I crossed Canada coast to coast. That's what it is with that. And here we are. Wow, bald eagle. We got a bald eagle, you know. Bald eagle. We got, whoa, look at that. Wow, that's it. Emerald Lake Lodge, and we got Lake Basin. We got basins, and that's what we gotta get doing with that. And wow. So this is another letter from March 2017. Hey, well, I still am involved in volunteering, but also during COVID, I was involved as volunteers. I volunteer. I love volunteering, and something which I have loved and do love, and that's what it is with that, and that's what it is with the Northern Lights, and gotta get that bear. Black bear, don't need the honey, then the spare. Black bear, don't need the honey, give me some spares. Black bear, don't need all the honey, leave me some spares. He's looking at the picture, he's looking at the, probably at the photographer, he's like eating, he has something in the mouth, if you see. Oh my gosh, look at that mountain goat. So white. The white mountain goat and the black bear on the road. The white mountain goat and the black bear on the road. The white mountain goat and the black bear on the road. Rainbow Dragon singing that rock and roll. Wow, look at that. The mountain goat. Alright, wow, this one also looks, hey. Oh yeah, Canada. To know strong and free, gotta add some LOVE, some picturesque, some national parks. We got national parks, and oh, here's something medical for my scars, you know. I got scars all over the body. But happy now, joyous, just coyote. We got coyotes in Canada, and we got owls, and that's what it is with that. And here we are, you know, so that's what it is. Oh wow, that's a beauty. Isn't that a beauty? What? That's a beautiful one. The Three Sisters. That's what that's called, the Three Sisters. The Three Sisters on the peak. Canada, you know we sing. Three Sisters, that's the peak, sir. Canada, you know we sing. Three Sisters, that's the peak. You know, Canada, we sing. Hey, wow, so many things. There it is. Rockies, go Canada, go. I'm gonna, on behalf of myself as a Quebecer Canadian, I would auction this to Donald Trump, or should we send it as a gift to the Oval Office? What do you say? What say you? What say you? Coast to coast. What say you, Quebecers, Canadians? Should I cannot afford to send it myself because I'm financially stressed, but I'm willing to. Let's sign it and send it to the Oval Office. To the Oval Office as a gift from this financially struggling independent artist, athlete, philosopher. And today's the 20th. The inauguration still occurs. Blah blah blah. The parades, what's going on, but I'm willing to give this to Donald Trump. Should we? Should we? Should I? Should we? Should we? Should we? Should we? Open question. Yes, no, maybe. But Canada Post. Let's get that DRT. Blah blah. And maybe should we send it onto the Oval Office? We can sign it and say Dragon versus Trump and put a note. Adrian Hanna Dragons challenging you to a boxing match on the Canadian tariffs, and support my Trinidad theories. No to the tariffs. No to the tariffs. Should we send this to the new president-elect, Donald Trump, Canadian Rockies? What say? What say? What say? Should we? Should we? Should we? Maybe 50-50. Maybe not. Peut-être. Maybe the DRT theory fast and French because we la belle province. Let's go for the rock and roll as you go. We go. You know, DRT theory has to be implemented. The debt refusion theory for the creation of the UE due to the current financial events which have been unfolding in the past years. Due to the fact, of course, that the public servicing of the public debt servicing of Canada, in other words, the interest we pay on the public debt of Canada has went from 20.3 in 2020-2021 to 46.5 billion. 46.5 billion back in 2020-2021. It was 20.3 billion. A billion is consequently has 9 zeros, so that's 20,300 million that we paid in 2020-2021 just to service the interest, just the interest on the public debt. And now this year, we paid last year 46.5 billion, so I don't want to be too alarmist, but it's a possibility of a black swan event in the public finances of Canada, a black swan event, and of course my debt refusion theory, which I've concocted, written over the past years, especially during COVID, is consequently the only solution or something very similar to it. And paradoxically, I put on the table, as long as I've been cursed with Asperger's, it turns into a blessing that I'm able to present the debt refusion theory, the DRT, the debt refusion theory for the creation of the universal exchange unit. So what is the DRT? I'm going to explain it. The DRT stands for D, debt, R, refusion, T for theory. The debt refusion theory is, of course, also includes monetary integration theory, and something very similar or parallel to it is the only solution, consequently, for the public financial situation of Canada, due to the fact that we pay 46.5 billion in interest this year. That's 46,000 million. So due to COVID, of course, having survived COVID, I know it was very tough. I almost died. I died right here in this home office and temple, and I am being reborn with every day, every workout training program system, every time I go to the mountain, every time I do a video, every day, every second here in this room office and temple. And the DRT theory, the debt refusion theory, is the only solution or something very similar to it, and of course stands for debt refusion theory. It also includes monetary integration theory, and of course that's why we got to be implementing something similar, due to the fact that paying the interest on the public debt has more than doubled in the past 3.5 years during COVID. From 2020-2021, it went from 20.3 billion, which double would have been 40.6. 20.3 times 2 is 40.6. It's now 46.5 in 2024, the amount of interest on the public debt. So DRT theory explained as simply as I can. So we're going to take all the public and the private debt, my 10,000 including, so my 10,000, your 10,000, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, and it's Canada first, but Canada joint United States at the same time, parallel. Take all the public and the private debt, including my $10,000 to the RBC, all the public and the private debt, refuse it. All that money we're going to be creating, we're going to convert all the public-private debt of Canada into the United States dollar value, the value of the US, so do the conversion. All the Canadian public and private debt, including my $10,000 as a citizen, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, all that converted to US dollar, added with the US, that's going to be the initial money supply for the creation of a new central bank, whatever we call it, the North American Bank. Because in my DRT theory, in my debt refusion theory, which is the only solution, due to the fact that paying the interest on the public debt has more than doubled. So there's no other solution or anything similar to it is the solution. So my DRT theory also contains monetary integration theory. Monetary integration theory is, of course, the financial theory, which was implemented in the European Union by the creation of the euro. Then the Germans, they destroyed their all central national banks. The German bank, the French, they destroyed their French. The Italians, they destroyed their lira, and they created a central bank known as the Euro ECB. European Central Bank, the ECB, European Central Bank. So they created a common bank. They destroyed their own national banks. They created a common central bank known as the euro. They issue now a currency known as the euro, and they destroyed they're all national central banks. So we're going to do the same. We're going to create a North American Central Integrated Bank, and we're going to create it together. We're going to create the UE. So we're going to take all the public-private debt. All that money is going to be converted into US dollars, added it up. And that money is going to be the initial money supply for the creation of a new central bank, which we're going to appellate and create a new Central Bank of North America. And we're going to create a new currency called the UE. U.Universal E.Exchange Unit. U.Universal E.Exchange Unit. The UE. U.Universal E.Exchange U.Unit. The universal exchange unit is going to have the value of the US dollar. We're going to set an interest rate level of 10%. Maximum it could be 3.33, 7.18, 6.1, 9.3, or 4.18. Below 10%. With all that money, we're going to be able to rebuild the infrastructure of the North American Collective Civilizational Complex of North America, construct the 44 tunnels, build and construct the 44 tunnels in case of a thermonuclear war. We're going to mass finance the fitness for the citizens and mass finance tourism for wellness, general wellness, and we're going to implement Operation Northern Scorpio and the HAWK, the North American Defense, HAWK, HAWK, for the creation of the two public-private partnership institution for the 21st century for security, service, and defense, for security, service, and defense, for security, service, and defense. And of course for the Dragon Army, aka North American Integrated Dance League, and the Dancing Goddess Army, the North American Integrated Dance League. That is the only solution, which of course we must do at this moment in time. We got to do implementation of that solution. The DRT theory is the only solution at this point in time where we are. You can argue all you want, but it's a possibility that tomorrow, this week, there's a public financial crash in the public finances of Canada. There's a public financial crash of the public finances of Canada. It's a worst case scenario, but due to the fact that interest has doubled, because if you compare, if as an individual, imagine your interest payments double in 3 years while your salary increases by 2%, 3.4%, 4.4%, 5%, 10%, 15% max, because how many salaries have doubled in the past 3.5 years? Not many. Very few, if many only CEOs, some millionaires, billionaires who won the lot or whatever the case may be. So the debt refusion theory is the only solution. We got to focus with solution. With that money, we're going to do a lot of good, rebuilding the infrastructure, build more hydroelectric dams, rebuild the infrastructure, and build coast to coast, ocean to ocean 44 tunnels in case of a thermonuclear war. There's a lot of good which we can do and implement by the debt refusion theory for the creation of the universal exchange unit. Is the solution. Paradoxically, it comes out of me being an aspie that in geopolitics you got to have some awareness, some studies of public finances, and of course that is the DRT theory is the only solution. The public finances of Canada paying the interest has more than doubled. Of course, due to COVID, the implementation of several protocols had made it so, but it's the only solution now. There's no other solution but the DRT theory, the debt refusion theory for the creation of the universal exchange unit, and that's what we got to focus on. Forget anything else when I discuss the debt refusion theory. Forget that I'm a bit weirdo with my Asperger's and I have scars on the body, survived COVID. Forget all that I'm part of the LGBTQ community 50-50 and androgynous pansexual. You got to forget all that. Adrian Hanna Dragon, focus on the theory, the solution, the DRT, the debt refusion theory. My auntie Freeland, Christian Freeland, LOVE. I gotta say that, gotta discuss the DRT theory with all public-private institution. My Scorpio brother Bill Gates of BlackRock, Blackstone is financial institution which diverged in 1988/1989, but Larry Fink is the CEO of BlackRock, so he's got to support it. Bill Gates has got to support it, and of course Joe Biden, was the last day as president, another Scorpio, but even Joe Biden is a Scorpio. It can be Sagittarius and whatever else astrological signs, but it has to be a public-private partnership, and the DRT, debt refusion theory, my DRT theory, has to be implemented, and it's part of my dream. It has to be implemented ASAP. The debt refusion theory for the creation of the universal exchange unit, the UE, a new currency, and with that money we're going to be able to rebuild the infrastructure of North America, rebuild the North American inner cities, aka the ghettos, mass finance citizens to work out, train, exercise, mass finance fitness, mass finance wellness by mass financing citizens for tourism across the North American collective, by mass financing citizens for tourism across the North American collective. We gotta implement it. We have to implement it. The implementation of that theory is a must. There's no other way around it. But the debt refusion theory for the creation of the universal exchange unit. Paradoxically, it is the solution. And now I'm gonna go because I need the laundry. So that my third laundry of the day is now over, so I gotta go put it in the mat, in the put it from the washer in the dryer, put it from the washer in the dryer. I gotta put it from the washer to the dryer, so that's gonna be some load, and I'm gonna switch to that French because we liable prevent. So once again, debt refusion theory, my DRT, paradoxically is the solution. There's no other way around this. You can argue all you want, but as much as we want to argue with that, the DRT theory at this moment in time, because it's only increasing, it has to be implemented. There's potential on the horizon, a collapse of the public finances of Canada. It's a worst case scenario, what's called in the world of finance a black swan event, a black swan event, a black swan event. So that's something that it's a possibility to occur. So we'll be back. I'll be back. Oh yeah, so now we're gonna discuss it in that French. So just give me a little bit of some time. You know we gotta do it for that French. Here you are in the lair of the dragon. Just put the clothes from the dryer in the washer. Third loads, 3 loads today, 3 loads, 3 loads, and just gonna make sure that the light is off because it's a very cold day, and I do not want to add pressure. Extended pressure, which is unnecessary on Hydro-Quebec. So I'm just gonna make sure that some lights are off in the other place. Some lights are off because I don't want to be utilizing too much electricity more than I have to, because it's a very cold day. So, you know, I want to be a good citizen in terms of electricity consumption, good citizen. So. Yeah, so as a matter of fact, I did have an unnecessary light on. I had an unnecessary light on. I had a hunch, intuition. I said, did I forget the light? So and I double checked the oven, because I didn't use the oven really, but earlier. But sometimes you gotta double check, that it's properly closed all the way off. Make sure it's all the way turned off. Certain things to avoid, and prudence and caution and security, liberty, security, Ready for that French? Because we're in La Belle Province. We're going to rock and roll a little bit of that French because where we at? We in La Belle Province, so that you know where we at. Et la belle province, rock and roll, that's where it's at. Rock and roll, that's where it's at. Rock and roll, that's where it's at. Rock and roll, and we got. Et bienvenue, vous êtes dans la belle province québécoise. Aujourd'hui, l'inauguration de Donald Trump, je vous encourage à faire l'entraînement physique. L'entraînement physique a été sur la médecine et thérapie de choix, puis je viens de finir 3 lavages. Je dois commencer avec la gratitude, même si je vis une crise financière en ce moment. Je vis juste un stress financier, mais je suis de bonne humeur, l'entraînement physique, puis l'activité physique, ça me fait du bien. Mais je suis bien content parce qu'avant, j'avais pas l'accès chez nous d'une laveuse, d'une sécheuse, d'une laveuse, d'une sécheuse, ni de laveuse, ni de sécheuse. Il fallait, dans le passé, j'allais bien sûr dans les buanderies, dépenser. Fait que j'avais toujours mon petit budget pour les dépenses que j'avais à faire. Puis c'est bien sûr quelque chose qui augmente ma qualité de vie. Ma qualité de vie, je dois pas me déplacer. Puis j'ai fait du nettoyage j'étais un peu déboussolé un matin, mais j'ai commencé à faire le lavage, j'ai commencé à boire un café, puis j'ai commencé à faire ce que je fais au quotidien en tant que l'analyse, la théorie en géopolitique, puis l'interprétation, bien sûr, aujourd'hui, c'est le 20 janvier, fait que c'est l'inauguration, le début du deuxième mandat de la présidence, le président Donald Trump, avec lequel je ne suis pas en accord. J'aurais voté, bien sûr, Biden, puis j'aurais voté pour Kamala Harris, puis bien sûr pour Joe Biden, mais bien sûr, je suis quand même Québécois, Canadien, Nord-Américain. Je suis Nord-Américain, Canadien, Québécois, vice-versa, Canadien, Québécois, Nord-Américain. Puis je fais appel depuis 2018 que j'ai commencé bien sûr à rentrer plus dans la politique, que j'ai commencé à faire appel à Donald Trump pour me combattre dans un combat de boxe, car en 2018, en printemps 2018, il a imposé des tarifs sur 10% sur l'aluminium du Québec puis du Canada, l'aluminium puis l'acier. Il a imposé sur l'aluminium et l'acier 10% en 2018. C'est là vraiment que je suis entré en politique. Puis mon ami anonyme, si je fais 1 million, je donne la moitié à chaque million, milliard, trillion. On m'a acheté des gants rouges que je les ai bien utilisés pendant longtemps, ces gants-là. Puis aujourd'hui, bien sûr, je les ai utilisés un peu, mais je les ai utilisés pendant un couple d'années. Il y a un bris, il va falloir que je fasse de la couture un peu ou mettre un patch dessus, mais quand même, ils sont encore en bon état. Mais ça fait plus que 6 ans que je les utilise, là, plus que 5 ans que je les utilise, plus que 6, là, parce que ça va faire 7 ans en printemps que depuis que j'ai commencé à faire appel à Donald Trump de me combattre dans un combat de boxe sur la frontière Canada-États-Unis. Sur la frontière du Canada des États-Unis, puis bien sûr, je suis un philosophe, un artiste, un athlète, un mystique un peu, monsieur, madame, qui est androgène pansexuel, puis qui vit avec l'Asperger's, l'autisme monofonctionnel. Ça n'a pas été si facile, mais finalement, il y a un couple d'années, durant la COVID, j'ai accepté que je suis neurodivergent, puis cette condition de neurodivergence, ça fait que j'ai des intérêts obsessifs. Puis ces intérêts obsessifs, c'est pas vraiment j'utilise pas la terminologie intérêt obsessif, parce qu'une obsession, ça peut plus un sens, une connotation plus négative, mais pour les aspis, les autismes monofonctionnels, c'est pas vraiment négatif, ces obsessions-là. Il faut qu'ils soient encouragés le plus possible, puis avoir du soutien le plus possible, parce que moi, quand je fais au quotidien l'analyse, la révision des théories, puis la révision des événements en géopolitique, je peux passer des heures et des heures et des heures intenses à regarder des différentes chaînes du Québec, du Canada, des États-Unis, du Mexique, premièrement de l'Amérique du Nord, principalement nord-américaine, là, puis c'est premièrement du Canada, Québec, Canada, États-Unis, Mexique, parce qu'ils font partie des États-Unis, des chaînes, puis des révisions, puis après ça, de la Chine, de la Russie, tout ça, en faisant des analyses, puis des méditations là-dessus, ben, je me rends pas compte, des fois, je viens de passer 5 heures juste à écrire, puis faire des révisions, puis des analyses des événements en géopolitique, des analyses historiques en géopolitique, des spéculations en géopolitique. Fait que c'est vraiment 24 sur 24, c'est des intenses. On peut être super concentré, super dedans quand on fait ces choses-là, mais ça a bien sorti une bonne chose parce que en tant qu'analyste et théoricien indépendant, j'ai prévu bien sûr qu'il y aura une conflagration internationale. Fait que tout ce que je fais depuis comme octobre-novembre en tant qu'analyste et théoricien en géopolitique et citoyen philosophe, peut-être un peu artiste, mais mon art rock'n'roll, ça pas vraiment. C'est quand même 2 choses à part. Quand je fais du rock'n'roll, que quand je suis dans la géopolitique, même si le rock'n'roll, c'est un autre de mes intérêts spéciaux, qu'on appelle aussi intérêt obsessif en tant qu'Asperger, je peux rentrer dans des transes de rock'n'roll de 24 sur 24. Merci, les camionneurs qui vont ramasser les vidanges pour le service Away à la belle province québécoise ensemble. Avec le souffle, le rock'n'roll et l'amour, on va pouvoir bouger les montagnes. Et si vous ne parlez pas d'amour, je deviens sourd. Vous ne parlez pas d'amour, je deviens sourd. Vous ne parlez pas d'amour, je deviens sourd. Je vous entends pas, je vous entends mal. Mes oreilles bouchées pas mal. Des pompes d'entraînement physique du sirop d'érable, des gratte-ciel dans belle province de la métropole, le dragon contre Trump. Puis ça, c'est en mode libre, pareil. Fait que je compose des chansons en français puis en anglais au quotidien. C'est vraiment à tous les jours. C'est vraiment, je peux rentrer dans des trans de rock'n'roll. C'est ça, mais des fois, je me rends pas compte parce que je rencontre des nouveaux gens. Puis à cause que, vous savez, l'Asperger, les autismes moment fonctionnels, c'est pas une maladie mentale, c'est une condition de neurodivergence. Comme moi-même, il faut que vous me le dites directement si, en bon québécois, de me fermer la gueule, ou tu peux-tu arrêter de parler, ou tu peux-tu bouger, tu peux t'en aller, puis OK, pas de problème, that's it, that's all, tu sais. C'est juste qu'on a de la misère dans certaines choses sociales, tu sais, dans la connaissance des normes de la société, de certaines choses qu'on ne se rend pas compte qu'on est dans le bris, ou on est dans... On fait, tu sais, on offense des choses comme ça. Il faut nous le dire directement. Puis c'est pas parce qu'on veut offenser, parce qu'on veut faire du mal, c'est parce que on est déficient dans certaines choses. Moi-même, je suis moins capable dans les interactions sociales, j'ai de la misère. Puis des fois, tu sais, on a un symptôme. C'est pas vraiment un symptôme, parce que le symptôme, c'est plus pour une maladie. L'Asperger, c'est une condition de neurodivergence. C'est plutôt des caractéristiques. Comme on a tendance, moi-même incluant, pas mal des Aspergers, des Aspies, on a cette caractéristique, on a tendance de s'approcher trop proche des citoyens dans la conversation. Fait un citoyen peut être... On brille, on n'a pas le sens de l'espace. Tu sais, l'espace personnel, là, dans la bulle, on n'a pas vraiment ces choses-là. On n'est pas conscient, mais il faut nous le dire. Tu peux-tu comme t'éloigner un peu, un mètre, juste prendre distance un peu? Il faut nous le dire, mais parce que quand les gens ne connaissent pas c'est quoi l'autisme non fonctionnel ou l'Asperger's, ils ont tendance de faire des associations plus négatives dans le sens de maladie mentale ou d'être en danger. Mais moi-même, je vis en hypervigilance parce que j'ai vécu mon trompe, puis j'étais attaqué par surprise il y a une couple d'années, puis j'ai vécu mon propre épisode de pirate silicien. J'ai cette tendance, mais je joue la défensive. J'aime pas la violence, mais je suis des fois hyper vigilant, puis en mode défensif. Puis il va falloir qu'on joue le Québec, le Canada et les États-Unis. Défense, 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 comme au football américain, défense, 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 sécurité, service, défense, sécurité, service, défense, sécurité, service, défense. C'est ça la géopolitique nord-américaine du 21e siècle, parce que il faut savoir nos chefs, je dis mon oncle Legault, avec mon oncle Legault, mais des fois je suis 50-50, 70, 30, 90, 10, mais enfin, il y a quand même une sagesse que moi je ne possède pas. J'aurais posé certaines questions. Sur les projets de loi qu'il a fait, j'aurais peut-être proposé des alternatives, comme maintenant que je propose, le soutien de mon rêve. Mon rêve, quand je dis mon rêve, mais c'est fondamentalement un appel pour un partenariat public-privé. C'est fondamentalement un appel pour un partenariat public-privé à travers ce que j'appelle le collectif de Civilisation nord-américain. Le grand collectif de Civilisation nord-américain. Donc ici, les Québécois, Québécoises, les Canadiens, Québécoises, nord-américains, on a fait le grand compromis linguistique du français, puis c'est sûr, ça prend un effort individuel, parce que si moi je le fais pas, puis il y a une manière aussi de le faire aussi, parce que si on veut cultiver les gens, apprécier le français, apprécier la culture du français du Québec, mais il faut qu'on fasse notre part aussi, en tant qu'individu. Puis moi, c'est par le rock'n'roll, par mes analyses, puis en étant bilingue, puis pas de problème, rock'n'roll, that's it, that's all. Puis, tu sais, il faut avoir la joie du français aussi, parce que c'est une belle langue, riche en tellement de choses culturelles, comiques aussi, artistique de rock'n'roll. Fait qu'il faut qu'on fasse un effort si on veut. L'apprentissage, la francisation, puis bien sûr la continuité de l'harmonie puis la paix par le grand compromis linguistique qu'on a fait au Québec. Voilà, ben, des fois on se donne, puis on a des tensions, il faut l'avouer, certaines choses. Mais quand même, on a été capable de se rendre jusqu'ici, là. D'une manière du principe non sectaire. Le principe non sectaire que j'applique. Moi-même, j'ai des certaines fautes. Tu sais, j'ai perdu beaucoup d'amis durant les 7 années et plus. Là, puis je me suis fait beaucoup d'amis quand je suis allé à la fierté. Bien sûr, je fais partie de la communauté LGBTQ. Plus la communauté de neurodivergents. J'ai perdu beaucoup d'amis, mais c'est pas grave. Maintenant, je sais que je mets des amis avec bénéfice seulement. Prêter allégeance, les gens. Vous êtes famille! Des amis avec bénéfice seulement. Des amis avec bénéfice seulement. Depuis aujourd'hui à demain pour le futur, puis prêter allégeance les gens, that's it, that's all, rock'n'roll, vous êtes famille. Puis je suis convaincu qu'elle m'a théorie de la refusion de la dette, je le sais, que qu'en la mettant sur la table, c'est la seule solution. Maintenant, c'est un paradoxe. Mais à cause de mon autisme hautement fonctionnel, aussi connu comme l'Asperger's, cette condition de neurodivergence que j'ai acceptée finalement durant la COVID, il y a 3 ans et demi à peu près, parce que ça fait bien des années qu'on me l'a dit, puis que je suis autiste hautement fonctionnel, que j'ai l'Asperger's, mais je ne l'ai pas accepté parce que c'est comme un stigme, tu sais, c'est comme, mais je dois vivre avec ça, comme je vis avec mes cicatrices, puis comme je vis avec, étant pansexuel androgène, monsieur, madame, mais ça fait juste une partie. Puis quand je discute la théorie de la refusion de la dette ou la géopolitique en étant mon intérêt obsessif, puis je suis un analyste théoricien en géopolitique, il faut oublier ces choses-là, ces autres choses, que je fasse partie de la communauté LGBTQ, puis fondamentalement, à mon oncle Legault, à ma tante Christian Freeland, parce que je vous considère comme un État, une famille, Québécois et Québécoises, puis des Canadiens, puis en fin de jour, même si je suis pas encore avec Justin Trudeau, mais c'est pas mes ennemis, vous n'êtes pas mes ennemis, je vous défendrai s'il y aurait une invasion en premièrement, j'irai tout de suite m'encadrer pour faire de la défense, mais seulement pour la défense. Puis comme je m'en prêterai parce que j'ai écouté ce que Trump disait, parce que quand il a posé la question, quand un journaliste a posé la question à Trump s'il va utiliser la force militaire, il n'a pas hésité à dire non. Il n'a pas hésité à dire non tout de suite, non, je ne vais pas utiliser la force militaire, mais il a dit oui à la force économique. Mais c'est ça, parce que s'il aurait dit la force militaire, j'étais prêt à aller sur la montagne, ma deuxième maison, puis à faire des entraînements de guérilla, tu sais. Mais, tu sais, parce qu'on est ensemble, on est une grosse famille, il faut qu'on s'unisse, les Nord-Américains, puis on va continuer avec le français. Les frères et sœurs des États-Unis vont faire un effort. Vont faire un effort à apprendre, pas juste par Céline Dion, en écoutant une chanson de Céline Dion avec la traduction au quotidien, à chaque jour, mais on va faire un effort, puis ça prend à faire un effort quotidiennement. Ça prend un effort quotidien, tu sais, c'est sûr que si moi je le fais pas, c'est donne, recevoir, 50-50. Puis, en géopolitique, la réalité que nos chefs, mon oncle Legault, je le dis aussi avec amour, mais en étant aussi un citoyen qui est un analyste et théoricien en géopolitique, qui a prévu, c'est important de placer mon travail avec ma prédiction d'octobre-novembre, j'ai prévu, je suis marqué que je célèbre 5 ans depuis que j'ai prévu qu'il y aura une conflagration internationale dans le monde. C'est ça que j'avais prévu en 2019, c'est ça qui arrive. Potentiellement une 3e guerre mondiale. Fait que mon travail et mes théories, ça tourne autour de cette prédiction d'octobre-novembre 2019, juste avant que j'aille survécu la COVID. Ici, dans cette grotte de dragon, ben, j'étais frappé par la COVID. Je pensais que j'allais mourir. Je dis souvent, je suis mort ici. En 2020, en février-mars, j'étais en train de renaître. Ben, j'ai l'espoir, je vis, parce que je vis un stress financier maintenant. J'ai 10 000 $ de dette, mais la gratitude, car mon loyer est payé pour le mois de janvier. J'ai payé mon loyer. Premièrement, j'ai toujours payé mon loyer, ma facture d'électricité à l'Hydro-Québec, Go, Amour et Santé, faites plus de centrales puis bon travail. J'ai payé ma facture d'électricité, puis je dois apprécier ces choses-là, car la civilisation, c'est un privilège. Je suis en train de cuire sur la chaufferette de la nourriture. J'ai des saucisses que je mange, j'ai du café, merci pour le don, j'ai tout ce qu'il me faut présentement pour continuer mon travail en tant qu'analyste, mais j'aimerais ça avoir une meilleure place, puis j'aimerais ça bâtir, construire le temple, un nouveau temple. Pas un ancien temple, un nouveau temple pour le collectif nord-américain sur la frontière Canada-États-Unis, le temple de la déesse oubliée, ou sur le Mont-Royal, avec le Colisée du peuple impérial nord-américain, le Colisée impérial du peuple nord-américain, le Colisée impérial du peuple nord-américain, avec la maison du dragon. La maison du dragon en écarlate. Écarlate, c'est rouge. Rouge, c'est ma couleur préférée. Là. De bâtir. Fait que la TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, c'est la seule et unique solution. Puis il faut comprendre qu'en géopolitique, n'importe quel que je me prononce, fondamentalement, principalement, les Québécois et Canadiens et Québécois comme votre dragon arc-en-ciel philosophe, les Nord-Américains, parce qu'on est des Nord-Américains aussi. Je suis Québécois, Canadien, Nord-Américain aussi. Notre intérêt fondamental, principal, c'est d'avoir, puis ça, il n'y a pas de oui et non, c'est la géopolitique réelle. Il faut qu'on commence par dire oui à ce principe. Si on ne peut pas dire oui à ce principe, on ne peut pas avancer. En tant que Québécois Canadien, notre intérêt fondamental, principal, primordial, numéro 1, c'est d'avoir les meilleures relations possibles avec nos frères et sœurs des États-Unis. Notre géographie le demande, notre histoire, notre culture, notre avenir le demande. Notre avenir en tant que Nord-Américain. Fait que fondamentalement, les autres choses, à part en géopolitique réelle, en tant que Québécois-Canadiens, notre intérêt principal, fondamentalement, numéro un, de la géopolitique en tant qu'analyste et théoricien en géopolitique. Puis après ça, on commence les autres choses. Mais principalement, notre intérêt fondamental, principalement en tant que Québécois, Canadiens, Nord-Américains, c'est d'avoir les meilleures relations à tous les niveaux, de culture, d'économie, de sécurité, de liberté, de tout avec nos frères et sœurs des États-Unis, en tant que Nord-Américains, fondamentalement. Parce qu'on a deux océans. Admare ou masque admare, c'est notre devise. En latin, de côte à côte, ou d'océan à océan. L'Atlantique, le Pacifique, le Pacifique, le Pacifique. Mes théories et protocoles sont seulement pour la défense, la sécurité puis le service. Sont seulement pour la défense, la sécurité puis le service. Sont seulement pour la sécurité puis le service. Sont seulement pour la sécurité puis le service. Sont seulement pour la sécurité puis le service de côte à côte, mes initiatives, mes protocoles. Puis il faut fondamentalement savoir, puis n'importe de la droite, de la gauche ou du centre, qu'en géopolitique, hein, notre intérêt principal, fondamentalement, numéro un, c'est d'avoir les meilleures relations avec les États-Unis. That's it, il n'y a pas de oui et non. L'OTAN, OK, l'OTAN, après ça. Mais après ça, fondamentalement, après ça, on peut élargir les initiatives, les protocoles de la géopolitique réelle. Quand ça vient de la géopolitique, c'est mon royaume, c'est mon domaine. C'est ça que je fais 24 sur 24. Des analyses, des théories, des révisions, j'ai prévu qu'est-ce qui se passe maintenant. Je peux passer des heures. Des fois, les nouvelles du Canada, du Québec, les analyses, les théories. C'est ça que je suis. Un analyste théoricien en géopolitique indépendant qui vit en crise financière. Mais fondamentalement, c'est ça qu'il faut comprendre. Que la situation réelle, c'est ça qu'il faut comprendre. Que c'est notre intérêt fondamental, principalement, d'avoir les meilleures relations possibles avec les États-Unis. That's it, that's all rock and roll. La TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, puis je fais appel à l'implémentation de ma théorie de la refusion de la dette, que je vais la discuter maintenant. Pourquoi je dis que c'est la seule et unique solution? Car on a payé en 2024 46,5 milliards d'intérêts sur la dette publique, 46,5 milliards d'intérêts sur la dette publique, 46,5 milliards, 1 milliard 109 zéro, 1 milliard 109 zéro. Fait qu'en 2020-2021, on paye 20,3 milliards, 20,3 milliards fois 2, c'est 40,6, 40,6 milliards, 20,3 milliards, c'est 40,6 milliards, 40,6 milliards, 40,6 milliards. 20,3 milliards, 1 milliard 109 zéro, fait que 20 milliards 109 zéro, là. 20,3 milliards qu'on payait en 2020-2021 d'intérêts seulement sur la dette publique, ça a plus que doublé, c'est sûr, durant la COVID et à cause de la COVID. Double 20,3 fois 2, ça aurait été 40,6. C'est 46,5 milliards, c'est 46,5 milliards, c'est 46,5 milliards d'intérêts sur la dette. Fait que là, on paye plus que double à 46,5 milliards, 46,5 milliards, 46,5 milliards sur la dette publique. C'est rendu plus que double. Fait que la seule solution, c'est la TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette. Théorie de la refusion de la dette, c'est la seule unique solution qu'on puisse le faire en ce moment pour faire cette solution pour les dettes, la dette publique qu'on est rendu, bien sûr. La TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette. Fait qu'il faut qu'on présente, puis je vous explique le plus simplement possible la TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, qui inclut la théorie de la refusion, ma TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, ça inclut la théorie d'intégration citoyenne. La théorie d'intégration monétaire, la théorie d'intégration monétaire, bien sûr, c'est la théorie que les Européens ont fait l'implémentation. Les Européens ils ont fait l'implémentation dans leur système économique des années 90. Les Allemands ils ont détruit leur banque centrale. Les Italiens aussi ont détruit leur banque centrale. Les Français aussi ont détruit leur banque centrale. Et bien sûr, ils ont fait de la création d'une nouvelle monnaie, l'euro. Ils ont détruit leur ancienne banque nationale. Ils n'ont plus de banque nationale en Europe. Les Allemands ils ont détruit leur banque centrale. Les Italiens aussi, les Français aussi. On va faire pareil. Donc, ma TRD, ça contient la TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette. Ça contient la théorie d'intégration monétaire, qui est la théorie financière que les Européens ont faite. Donc, vu qu'on paye 46,5 milliards et dû au fait que l'intérêt qu'on paye sur la dette publique a doublé en 3 ans durant la COVID est dû à cause de la COVID. Moi-même, ayant survécu la COVID, je me suis fait vacciner 3 fois. s'il vous plaît, augmenter l'hygiène publique, s'il vous plaît, citoyens et concitoyennes. Et bien sûr, il faut qu'on fasse l'implémentation de la TRD, car l'intérêt qu'on paye sur la dette a doublé, plus que doublé en 3 ans. Fait que c'est une crise. C'est possible que demain, une crise publique financière commence. C'est possible que cette semaine, une crise, l'effondrement des finances publiques canadiennes se passe. C'est possible, parce que l'année fiscale vient de changer. C'est possible. C'est un scénario très néfaste, très worst case scénario, comme on dit en anglais, un scénario très... Mais c'est possible, parce que l'intérêt qu'on paie a plus que doublé. Imaginez-vous qu'en 2020-2021, vous payez 156 $ d'intérêt sur votre crédit. Là, vu que le salaire n'a pas doublé, mais votre intérêt que vous payez sur les cartes de crédit double, il va falloir que vous coupez dans le budget, il va falloir que vous coupez dans le budget quelque part, il va falloir que vous coupez dans le budget quelque part. Si votre intérêt que vous payez sur vos cartes de crédit, moi personnellement, je n'ai pas de carte de crédit, mais j'ai une ligne de crédit, je paye 11% d'intérêt. Mais si l'intérêt double sans que le salaire double, ça veut dire qu'il va falloir que vous coupez à quelque part. Donc la TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, la TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, c'est la seule et unique solution. On paye 46,5 milliards d'intérêts. La théorie de la refusion de la dette, c'est la seule et unique solution pour nous sortir du qu'on est dans un point de crise des finances publiques canadiennes. Donc, je vais vous l'expliquer maintenant. Encore une fois, tenez en tête et soyez conscients que ma TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, ça contient la théorie d'intégration monétaire, ce qui est exactement la théorie que les Européens ont fait implémentation dans leur système financier des années 90. Fait qu'on va prendre toute la dette publique-privée, mon 10 000, 10 000, ton 10 000, de côte à côte, toute la dette publique-privée. Toute la dette publique-privée, on va la ramasser ensemble du Canada de côte à côte, on va faire la conversion dans la devise des États-Unis. Tout cet argent-là, on va faire la conversion dans la devise des États-Unis. Il faut que ça soit implémenté en même temps avec les États-Unis, binational. Canada premièrement, mais de préférence ensemble avec les États-Unis. Toute la dette publique privée du Canada des États-Unis, la dette canadienne, on va la convertir dans la devise des États-Unis. Tout cet argent-là, ça va fonder l'argent initial en circulation d'une nouvelle banque, qu'on l'appelle la Banque centrale de l'Amérique du Nord ou quoi que ce soit, est le nom qu'on donne. Puis on va faire la création d'une nouvelle monnaie comme qu'ils ont fait en Europe. UI, en anglais c'est pareil, on ne s'obstinera pas. U point unité, E point échange, U point universel, qui va avoir la valeur du dollar des États-Unis. Puis l'argent en circulation, ça va être toute la dette publique privée, plus l'autre argent qui existe. U point unité, E point échange, U point universel. U point unité, E point échange, U point universel. U point unité, E point échange, U point universel. L'unité d'échange universel, on va faire la création de l'UI. U point unité, E point échange, U point universel. La création de l'unité d'échange universelle. Oui. On va mettre un taux d'intérêt de 10%. Ça peut être 3,33, 7,18, 4,18, 7,18, 1,56, 6,1, 9,3. En bas de 10. 10% maximum après ça, surtout les prêts après ça. Qu'on fasse l'implémentation de ma TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, il faut le faire. Il n'y a pas de solution parce que qu'est-ce qu'on va falloir faire dans les finances publiques? Il va falloir couper quoi? Les services de sécurité publique, les prisons, financer le financement de la sécurité publique, des prisons, qu'est-ce qu'on va couper? Les services qui ramassent les poubelles, les vidanges des services publics. C'est pour ça mon rêve, c'est un partenariat public-privé, un appel à un partenariat public-privé. Puis ça va ensemble avec la TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette. La TRD, il faut qu'on fasse l'implémentation, c'est urgent. C'est urgent, là, en 2025, il faut le faire le plus tôt possible. La TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, avec cet argent-là, on va pouvoir rebâtir l'infrastructure de l'Amérique du Nord, les ponts, les aqueducs, bâtir les 44 tunnels, les 44 tunnels à travers l'Amérique du Nord dans le cadre d'une guerre nucléaire, rebâtir l'infrastructure, bâtir plus de centrales Hydro-Québec, financement des citoyens à faire l'entraînement physique par un partenariat public-privé, financement au tourisme parce que ça fait du bien pour le bien-être, fait qu'on va faire bien des choses avec cet argent-là, bien des choses publiques aussi, rebâtir bien des places de l'Amérique du Nord, urbains, des places, des communautés, des places urbaines, qui est des ghettos, l'Amérique du Nord aussi. Avec cet argent-là, fait qu'on va faire bien des choses. Mais ma TRD, c'est la seule et unique solution. Il n'y a pas d'autre solution en ce moment. Vous pouvez vous obstiner tant que vous voudrez. On va faire la création de l'UI. Puis je fais appel aussi pour la création de 2 institutions de partenariat public-privé, l'armée de la déesse qui danse, aussi connue comme la Ligue de danse intégrée de l'Amérique du Nord. La danse est mon sport préféré avec l'armée du dragon, ça de partenariat public-privé de l'armée ou l'armée du dragon pour le service, la sécurité puis la défense seulement par l'élément complémentaire à l'armée de la déesse qui danse pour l'environnement et pour le plaisir. Pour l'armée du dragon, bien sûr, que ça fasse bien sûr ensemble. L'armée du dragon, principalement pour la sécurité puis le service puis la défense, aussi connu sous le nom de l'armée de l'Amérique du Nord, ou les forces de défense et de sécurité puis de service de l'Amérique du Nord, les forces de service et de sécurité de l'Amérique du Nord intégrées citoyennes, puis bien sûr les autres théories, la terre des théories de la refusion de la dette. Je vais finir avec une chanson de rock'n'roll. Du rock'n'roll pour les théories, ça fasse l'entraînement physique. De côte à côte, les camionneurs sur la route. Hey! Un merci à ceux qui ont changé, les couches dans les garderies, les pompiers amour et santé, regarde dans le cercle, ça danse. Faut faire de la gauche et de la droite, hey, avec la danse de les aigles, de la montagne et sa face, avec des trois pistoles, à trois pistoles. Ça bouge la tête en haut, puis dans la province jusqu'au Canada de côte à côte, dans les montagnes, les forêts, les gratte-ciels, regarde des lumières, en blanc, bleu, en rouge. Danse comme en transe avec la bouche et la langue. Oh, des bisous des chatouilles comme un vampire. Vampire de la belle province. Hey, regarde sa mouche, des mains, ça bouge. Ça claque des doigts et des pieds chez nous. Bienvenue dans la grotte, il y a du rock'n'roll. Ça avance, bouge des fesses. Ça s'appelle nouveau danse style twerk. Twerk! Twerk! Ouais, regarde, ça bouge des fesses puis des orteils, ça claque la danse. Sans pareil, le rock'n'roll. Les abeilles, pas d'abeilles, on est en hiver, moins 20, on est en janvier, Hydro-Québec, ça la torotte, camionneur, danse, ça bouge, des États-Unis qui appellent, ils entendent l'appel, puis ça danse, hey, ensemble, avec le rock'n'roll, ça bouge, ses orteils en haut, du camion, puis ça bouge du côté des antennes, la radio, puis ça bouge. Rouge, rouge, rouge. Merci le travail public pour le ramassage des poubelles et puis des vidanges. Puis le recyclage, un peu merci du rock'n'roll que j'en ai en plein pour le faire le bidon. Travail public échange Jacques et Duc. Il faut le remercier avec du rock'n'roll. Oui. Aïe, 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 aïe. Rouge, 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 blablabla, faites l'amour. Rock'n'roll,